Hello, hello, my lovely sovereign sisters. Welcome back. If you are new to my channel, welcome to the lovely sovereign sister community. Okay. I'm here to empower women, put women up on game about men, explain and show you guys different dating dynamics between heterosexual couples, exposing male nature, and teaching you also how to level up so that you can live your best life. Like always, do not forget to thumbs up and like the live, and please subscribe. You can click the notification bell. That way, you get an alert every time that I decide to do a live stream. Okay. Um, so I wanted to talk today about the subject of women having a low self-esteem. And low self-esteem is kryptonite for a woman. It is. It is kryptonite for a woman. And I don't really think that women don't realize just how dangerous it is to date when you have a low self-esteem, because patriarchy has painted it from the beginning of time since you were born. Patriarchy has created conditions to reduce your value, reduce your worth, or have it be perceived that your value is reduced. That's the reason why they say, "Oh, after a certain age, you're a leftover woman," or something is wrong with you. You're gonna die alone with cats. The beauty standards that we have to uphold, the mom guilt, the super mom. Everything is always everything has always been orchestrated for your self-esteem to be reduced. And what happens, this was created on purpose. Okay, this was created on purpose in order for men to have what's called the hero complex. So what they do is they create a problem. Okay, so they make you the problem. So there's something wrong with you. You're not pretty enough. You're not thin enough. You're not submissive enough. Um, you're not broke enough. You're not dumb enough. It's always going to be something. And then they turn around and they say, "Oh, well, you're too smart. You make too much money. You look too good." You like it. They're always going to move the goalposts, and the reason why they're doing that is because they did that to create an opportunity for average men to kind of come in and swoop in and save the day. So all that does is it forces you to be emotionally vulnerable because your self-esteem is already low. And when you have a low self-esteem, you have a low self-esteem, especially as a woman. Having a low self-esteem is an emotional, it's an emotional inadequacy, is the best way I could explain it. It's an emotional inadequacy. So you become vulnerable and you expose yourself to men that are really just preying on you. Okay, because I'm going to talk about this because men know how to sniff this shit out. Men are always testing you based off of your self-esteem, your self-worth, what you think of yourself, and what you are willing to tolerate. My own father has told me, my own father has told me, yeah, if I had met a woman that like has the same mindset as you and that thinks the same way as you, I wouldn't deal with her because she wouldn't let me get away with enough. Like, you're too smart. You're too smart. Literally, I will never forget this. Literally, my dad had like a get together, and it was all men. That it was some men there, and then it was like a couple women too as well that we know. And I pretty much was like, I was exposing and saying what I always say about men. You know what I mean? Exposing what needs to be said about men. And my dad's girlfriend was on her way over, and my dad was like, shh, like, shut up, like, quit talking about that. Like, I don't want her to like know this information. I don't want her to know this information. And he said that because he knows that I know what I'm talking about, because he's the one that taught me. He's the one that taught me this. So he wants this information gate kept from his own girlfriend because this is really how men think. That's the main reason why I know, this is the main reason why I know these things in the first place. You know what I'm saying? Hi to all the ladies that are in the chat. And like, yes, exactly, Jessica. Emotional wounds. Men are coming into your life preying on you, hoping that you have a vulnerability. hoping that you have something to exploit. They'll do it through your emotions, they'll do it through your mental, they'll do it based off of finances. And this is very, very harmful to women. And this is why I believe that women who have a low self esteem should not date. And once this episode goes live, once this episode get like actually gets posted, once I'm done with the live stream, I want you to go in the comments and I want you to tell me your dating experience when you had a low self-esteem compared to your dating experience when you had a high self-esteem. Okay. Usually, at least for me, I'm only speaking for me. When I had a low self-esteem, that was when I was dating, I had the most options. I had the most options when I had a lower self-esteem when I was dating, because it's easier for men to take advantage of you when you have a high self-esteem or a low self-esteem, because when you have a low self-esteem, you have no boundaries. So you let anything fly. You're looking for validation, so you're performing, you're bending over backwards, you're not standing firm on anything, because you are looking for validation in a man to make you feel better about yourself. Versus when I maintain a high self-esteem and I got a high self-esteem, you don't have as many I did not have as many options. But what I can say is that even though I didn't have as many options, I only tolerated the men that I wanted to, not tolerate it, but I only allowed the men that I wanted access to me to have access to me. And so therefore I got everything I wanted once my self-esteem was high, because I had rigid boundaries. You know what I mean? I had rigid boundaries. So it's like what a lot of women will do is a lot of women will have a low self-esteem, find a man. She has no boundaries, she has no standards. She's going in blind, has no idea what it is that she wants, and then will try to change and alter and contour herself while also trying to do it to the man as well. And she's trying to bend her will to whatever it is that the man is doing. And then so what happens is that you lose your identity. You don't have an identity at that point, because you're trying to contort yourself to whatever it is that this man is asking of you. And then you're still having to beg him to be faithful, take you out on a date, be nice to you, all of the above. All of the above. And it's just simply because your self esteem is way too low. High self esteem women repel dusties. High self esteem women repel dusties. Okay. Men are very good at knowing what type of women they can run game on, what type of women they could use. The number one thing that they are looking for is your self esteem to be low. That's the number one thing that they are looking for. And they do this in a very covert manner. They do it in a very, very covert manner. They try to frame questions a certain way to see how you're going to answer them. They'll ask you your opinion. So for example, this was back when my self-esteem was low at the time, because I had binge eating disorder. And so like for instance, someone asked, how can the woman keep their self-esteem high? You have to like who you are. Not even like who you are. You have to love who you are. You have to love it. You have to love like yourself 100%, or as close to 100% as you can get. You have to change all the things about yourself that you don't like. If you don't like your body, change your body. If you don't like how you look, change how you look. If you don't like how you feel, change how you feel. So I'll give you my own life example. Okay, I'll give you my own life example of how this played out into my own life. So if you don't know, I am a recovered, I had an eating disorder. I had binge eating disorder. I had a bodybuilding background. Well, I had a gymnastics background long before that. And I still did not have a good relationship with food, just due to gymnastics and like the body dysmorphia. And, you know, they want you to stay small. I had a very late delayed period and things like that. And so once I got into bodybuilding, I never healed that wound of my relationship with food. So I suffered greatly from body dysmorphia, overeating, um just binging. So once I was done competing and I had been I guess I kind of had like a scarcity mindset with food because they take your food away when you're competing to get you lean. I had food insecurity. So by the time I was done competing and I had the opportunity to eat again, I ate everything and I blew the fuck up. I did not like myself. I did not like myself at all. So what I did was I just started dating. I just started dating because I pretty much was searching for men to make me feel validated with how I looked at the size that I was. I was waiting for them to validate me. And so this kind of turned into like me telling men whatever it was that they wanted to hear. And I remember, so I don't know if you guys remember when Kiki Palmer had made she was it was going viral because of how she was dressed when she went to the Usher concert, and Usher had, pretty much had Kiki Palmer as a part of his performance when he was singing for her, and then she was dancing all on him, and all that good stuff. There was a guy that I was talking to, and he asked me what I thought about it. He asked me what I had thought about it. And I knew subconsciously why he was asking me that question. He wasn't asking me that question just to have like banter and just to have like conversation. He was asking me what I thought about the situation in order to size me up. In order to size me up. Because I was like, oh yeah, like I feel as though she should have been dressed differently. I feel as though because she's a mother, like she shouldn't be dressing like that and she shouldn't be behaving herself like that. And just like completely wanting to frame an answer to a question just so that he could have like a certain thought process about me, a certain thought about me and look at me a certain way. Even though deep down, I'm just like, well, I don't really see anything that she did wrong, but whatever. That's a whole nother conversation for a different day. But that's an example of how covert men can be when it comes to what they're using and how they're talking to you in the conversation that they're having with you. That is how covert they are when they are trying to size you up to see if you are someone who they can take advantage of. Because had I told him, I don't see anything wrong with what she was wearing. I don't see anything wrong with her engagement with Usher. Just because she's a mother does not mean that she all of a sudden shouldn't be allowed to dress a certain way. Had I given him that answer, he would have not talked to me anymore. He would have not talked to me anymore. And we saw this with the pop the balloon. We saw this with the pop of the balloon. Those women, when those men were asking those women questions, you could tell that the women were trying to frame their answers so that way the men would like them. You already know that majority of those questions that the women answered, they don't really think like that. They don't really think like that. They are answering those questions a certain way to have the man think of them a certain way. And the biggest thing with you having a high self-esteem and learning how to have a high self-esteem, you have to be okay with getting rejected. That's the harsh reality about having a high self-esteem. You have to be okay with being rejected. The reason why it's so easy for having a low self-esteem is the easy way out. Because hold on, let me cut my phone off. Hopefully you guys can still hear me. Because sometimes it acts weird because my phone's connected. So hopefully you guys can still hear me. But real quick, just put a 1 in the chat to just tell me that you guys can hear me. I don't want to talk and it's not working. Okay, cool. All right, perfect. Thank you. What was I even saying? I literally forgot that fast because I got distracted. Oh, it's easier for you to have a low self-esteem because usually when you have a low self-esteem, you're surrounded by more people. You don't get rejected as often when you have a low self-esteem Because you're a people pleaser. Low self-esteem and people pleasing are synonymous. Usually they're synonymous because the thing about it is that that's why they call it people pleasing. You're people pleasing because you care too much about what other people think of you. You care too much about what other people think of you. When you have a higher self esteem, you have to be okay with not being liked. You have to be okay with being ghosted. You have to be okay with you just not understanding why a man decided that he didn't want to talk to you anymore, or why he didn't want to make you his girlfriend, or why he didn't want to make you his wife. Women with higher self esteem are okay with not being liked. Women with a high self-esteem are okay with not being liked. People pleasing, people pleasing is the number one thing that men rely on in order to have access to women. It's the number one thing that men rely on to have access to women because they're able to benefit from that. When you don't care, when you don't care about someone walking out of your life, when you don't care about you deciding, you know what, I'm not getting what I want, I'm not dealing with this anymore, I'm leaving the relationship, that's it. A man can't benefit from that. A man cannot benefit from that. You have to have it's called an internal locus of control. That's what it's called. You have an internal locus of control and you have an external locus of control. An internal locus of control, it means that you have a perception of self regarding things that you can control, okay? Your self-esteem, your self-concept, your body image, the way that you talk to yourself, the things that you choose to do, and you choose to do things that make yourself feel a certain way. That is an internal locus of control. An external locus of control are things that you cannot control at all, but yet you're using things that are external to decide how you feel about yourself. So, like for instance, it'll be an outfit, right? Like for instance, you're about to go out tonight, okay? You're like, I'm gonna go out tonight. And there's two outfits. There's two different outfits that you're trying to decide that you want to wear. One outfit, okay? One outfit is what you really want to wear, okay? You know that if you put on this outfit, it's going to make you feel good. It's going to make you feel beautiful. It's going to make you feel sexy. You love the color. It fits your body nice. You like this outfit, right? But you decide, you know what? I want to get a man. A man won't like this. I know for a fact a man will not like this if I wear this outfit, if I wear this color. I'm not skinny enough to wear this. I'm not thick enough to wear this. All the little things in your brain to make you deny wearing the outfit that you really want to wear. So you're going to wear another outfit because you're like, oh, well, this outfit will get me a man. And then you go out that night. You go out that night. A man didn't ask for your number. A man didn't even look your way. A man didn't pay any attention to you. A man didn't buy you a drink. A man did nothing for you that night. Didn't even know you existed that night. So now, instead of you being able to come back home from having a nice night out and you enjoying your girls, enjoying all the things that you're doing, being out, now you're going to come home and now you're going to be upset and now you're going to be hard on yourself because now you're like, oh, well, no one even paid attention to me tonight. No one even paid attention to me tonight. That's an external locus of control because you were trying to dictate how you looked, what you wore, based off of how other people were going to perceive you. And so now you put the power in that person's hands. Now your emotions and now your sense of self are now being determined by how other people view you, what other people think about you. And so this is also why patriarchy ingrains triangulation. They ingrain triangulation between women. Oh, well, she's married and you're not married. So they're always trying to have it be a competition between other women. So that way you feel bad about yourself in that way too. And so then now you're in competing mode with another woman. So I have a couple videos. That's like my monologue. I have a couple videos that we are going to watch.
You're a woman with low self-esteem. My big brother advice, my friend advice to you right now is take a break from dating. I repeat, if you're a woman who knows that she struggles with low self-esteem, my big brother advice to you, my brother advice to you in general, as my friendly advice to you is that you take a break from dating. Why? You see, men with nefarious intent can smell a woman with low self-esteem. Users, abusers, manipulators, men with low vibration, they can sniff out a woman with low self-esteem. Doesn't matter her age. Oh, if she has money, if she has access to resources, and she has low self-esteem, oh man, you're a perfect target. If you're not strong mentally, if you're not strong here in your heart and in your mind, men with bad intentions will sniff you out and will latch onto you to use your energy, use your mindset, use your vibrations, use everything use your money too. That's why you see some women, they fall for they fall for some terrible situations. You know, I know a woman, she met this guy on a dating app, 4 months, moved in with him, giving him all the benefits of a wife, of a girlfriend.
4 months. 4 months. You meet a man off of a dating app, and within 4 months, you're already living with him. Your self-esteem at that point has to be in the pits of hell to ever do that, to ever think that that is a good idea. That should never even be on your radar of an options. 4 months. When you get a job, you're on probation for 3 months. When you get hired on a new job, they have you on probation for 3 months. Even a job is more strict with who they allow working for their facility than the woman that he's talking about is. A job standards are higher than a woman's in this case. Don't be this woman. Don't ever be that desperate. Do not ever be that desperate.
He used her. Ask her, why did you do this? Like, I want to be loved. I want to be loved. No. How can you expect somebody to love you if you don't love yourself? I'm talking to you as a brother. I'm talking to you as a friend, man. If you're a woman, a girl, a teenager, whatever, and you know you have low self-esteem, take a break from dating. Take 3 months, take 6 months, take as much time as you need. Dating is still going to be there. Fix your mind first. Feel good about yourself. Have some self-respect. Because the more self-respect you have, the more high self-esteem you have, the less tolerance you have for bullshit, the less tolerance you have for bad behavior. That's very important. If there's one thing you're going to take from this channel, work on your self-esteem as a woman, please. Because when you have a high sense of self as a woman, you don't mind walking away. A man does something, a man disrespects you, a man says something you don't like.
Men, we make it too easy for men, and this is the thing. It goes back to the societal conditioning, the patriarchal conditioning, the double standards. For men, oh well, they're allowed to cheat. They're biologically wired that way to cheat. Just because they cheat on you, it doesn't mean that they don't love you. You in the movies, you watch movies and TV shows, the man will cheat, and then he'll get kicked out, and then he'll come back and buy all these lavish gifts. He will do all these things, send a ton of roses, have a whole band in the home, and do all these things and beg the woman for forgiveness. And then the woman will take him back. We've been conditioned to think that this behavior is normal. Okay. We've been conditioned to think that this behavior is normal. But would a man ever allow that from you? Would a man ever allow you to cheat on him and stick around and in him stay? No. Ain't no man about to sit here and tolerate you cheating on him. Ain't no man gonna tolerate you disrespecting him, cussing him out, acting in your kind of way, doing whatever it is that you want to do. They're not going to tolerate that. They're not going to tolerate that because men are very prideful people. Men are very, very prideful people. As a woman, you have to have a sense of pride. As a woman, you have to have a sense of entitlement. Like me, I tell myself all the time, there will be times where I will be tested. You know what I mean? I will be put in certain predicaments where I am tested. And I always have to tell myself, I'm not going out sad over no man. I'm not doing it. I'm not going out sad over no man. I will never, ever, ever give a man the satisfaction to think that he got me, or to think that he's the prize, or to think that he's getting chased after. I'm never going to give a man the satisfaction of ever being able to think that about me. Never, ever, ever, ever. Literally, my last ex boyfriend, my last relationship was a year ago. He took me to Mexico, bought me all types of things, like was very, very generous. And then he started acting funny and I broke up with him immediately. Like broke up with him immediately. Didn't think twice about it. Didn't think twice about it. The gifts and all that stuff, it's not going to make me stay. I'm not going to stick around for you to like buy me shit when I could just buy my own shit. Like no. No. I'm not going to ever let a man feel comfortable treating me a certain way, and neither should you. You should never let a man feel comfortable treating you a certain way.
You have low tolerance. You're not trying to see the good in him. When you have a high sense of self as a woman, any bullshit, any BS the man throws your way, you are. And that's what I want you guys to have. I want you to have high sense of self. Okay, it's very possible, but to achieve high sense of self, you need to take a break from dating. Okay. Good luck.
Women, in my opinion, okay, especially if you've had relationships, you need to at least have a year away from being in a relationship or dating. Like I say minimum 1 year. Minimum 1 year. No dates, no nothing. No type of interaction with men. A year minimum. You need to be in therapy. You need to be journaling. You need to be doing affirmations. You need to be going to the gym. You need to be finding other women that are like-minded like you, who are also on the same trajectory. Those are the 5 things that you need to be doing. Those are core things that you need to do as a woman to boost up your self-esteem. Most men are not out here doing things to boost up your self-esteem. They're just not. They're not doing things to boost up your self-esteem. If anything, they're doing all of the things to tear your self-esteem down. To tear your self-esteem down, to make you second guess yourself, to make yourself feel like you're not worthy, to make yourself feel as though you're forever indebted to them. That's not why you're on earth. That's not your existence, just so that your lifeline is a man. Okay, that men are not lifelines at all. They are not lifelines at all. I just watched a video of a woman saying, "Why does she need self-love before she gets into a relationship? Like, girl, are you slow?" Are you talking about Cindy? Are you talking about Cindy, the one, the darker skin woman that has like the short haircut? Yeah, because I watched Yanni earlier, but I actually did see that from TikTok. Yes, yeah, 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 yeah. I did see that from TikTok. And honestly, I thought to hold on. Hold on. I'm gonna let another TikTok play. And I'm gonna let another TikTok play, but I am actually gonna find that. 1 second.
No, y'all are never leaving them alone. Women have not given men any reason to evolve because men know the women are coming in droves. Whether this is a man who can't keep a job, whether this is a man who got a lot going on in his life and he not really dedicated to growth, he not really healing. You know he put his hands on all his women, but oh my God, you just can't help yourself. You got
You will give a woman information about a man. Like literally, you could tell another woman that this man has unalived a woman. He's a PDF file. He's put his hands on other women, and a woman will still choose to deal with him. Still choose to deal with him. Like you're delivering the red flags to another woman on a silver platter. You are hand delivering the red flags on a silver platter to a woman, and a woman will still have so much. Because here's the thing, women have pride, women have ego. They only have it when it comes to other women. When it comes to men, pride and ego, self respect, out the window. Out the window. But when it comes to another woman, oh no, you must have did something. You must have did something for those girls. Must have been crazy. Something must have been wrong with those girls for that to happen to them. I'm gonna make sure he's satisfied. I'm a cook. I'm a clean. I'm a put it down in the bedroom for him. That won't be me. That won't be me. And then it ends up being them. It ends up being them. Men don't change. Men do not change. Men are the same person that they were from like 9 years old. Most men have arrested development from 9 years old. They're literally grown adults living in a little boy's body. They don't change. They don't evolve because women don't give men a reason to evolve at all. At all. Look at the women who marry men on death row for killing a kid, just desperate. Yep. Yep.
You gotta have a man. So you're gonna go be with him, even though his first 3 baby mamas told you, oh, don't do it, girl. You still did it because you felt like you were special and you just wanted to be picked. Looking goofy as hell. I'm just so disappointed in us. I'm so disappointed. Damn. Like, can we just sit alone? Like, just chew. I'm telling you, just stop running from solitude, bro. Like, this is a problem. When you are being with the man, like, and you will stay with this man by any means necessary, you need help. You have an addiction. You need help. Because whatever it is, something needs to get you from opening your legs. Because it seems like you have a natural allegiance to losers. And it is common with you. It's consistent behavior from you. It's not even like it's not like you. It's like you to be committed to losers. It's like you to choose these men that don't treat you well. It's like you. It is. Because you think a man is the prize. You think a man is what you get out of this life. And if God don't give you a man, oh, you not loved. I'm disappointed in y'all. I am. I'm disappointed in us. I am. I'm disappointed in all of us. Girl.
So yeah, because I'm disappointed in us too. That's the whole reason why I created this platform and became a content creator in this niche in the first place. Because I saw my girlfriends making poor decisions with men. I mean, it's everywhere I looked around. I was just seeing women being taken advantage of, being exploited, being harmed, being heartbroken, being depressed, being upset. And it was always due to the man that they were attached to every single time. My track record isn't perfect, if damn for sure isn't perfect when it comes to men. But one thing I can say about myself is that I knew when the fuck to leave the party. Okay, that is one thing I could say. I knew when the fuck to leave the party. And that's the most important thing. You need to know when it's time for you to leave. You need to swallow your pride and know when you need to exit a situation. Because in some situations, your life will be on the line. Your life will be at risk if you don't leave soon enough. Even your own child's life, your children's life, even their life will be on the line because their mother chose to not leave soon enough. I know you all heard about the woman who her baby daddy left the children outside in the cold and they died from hypothermia. You know, there's plenty of crime cases where the boyfriend or the husband is R-wording the children, the little girls, and the mothers know about it and the mothers do nothing about it. Mothers do absolutely nothing about it because that's how obsessed they are with men. That's how badly they want a man in their life just to say that they have somebody. just to say that they have someone. It makes no sense. It makes no sense at all. What are these men giving you? What are these men giving you that is so important to you that you would be willing to risk your life just to say that you have one? And it always kills me because you'll see these videos of women asking their boyfriends, would you would have to choose me over $100 million, either me being alive or $100 million. And the man's like, oh, I would choose the $100 million. The men waste no time. I would choose the $100 million. I could get another girlfriend. I could get another girl that looks just like you. I'm gonna choose $100 million, and the girlfriends get always upset. What, you would choose $100 million over me? What? And these are the same men that you're willing to risk your own life for, risk your own livelihood for, get rid of your career, move far away from your family, neglect your friends for. And when it really comes down to it, if they had a better option, a better choice standing next to you, they're going to take the better choice. Women are so desperate that they will let a man stress them out until they die from an illness they got from being stressed or over that man. Yep. Yes. And then the man is a bum. The man will always be terrible. Oh, I got a super chat. Hey, boo, just got in. Love you. Thank you, Jessa. Thank you for the super chat. I appreciate you. Why does women take men after you? I had a friendship that took 2 men before our friendship. Too male centered. That's really what it is. And this is why I always encourage women to not be friends with women that are male centered. I suggest you not. An easy way for you to know if a woman is male centered, let's just say you just met this girl, right? Met this girl, you guys go out for dinner. If 80% of the conversation is regarding a man, well, do you have a boyfriend? Are you married? Well, do you want children? And then she just goes on she just sinks into the abyss of talking about men and this man and that man. And no, if 80% of the conversations are revolving around men, in most cases, she's too male centered. In most cases, it's going to be a woman who, as soon as she gets a boyfriend, she's going to be out of your life, and she's going to come in and out of your life based off of the status of her relationship and how the relationship is going. She'll all of a sudden, you'll invite her out. Oh, I can't hang out. I'm hanging out with Darius tonight. So no. And you'll even book it out further out. Oh, what about a month from now? Oh, no, I'll probably be with Darius that night. So no, we're not going to be able to hang out. But then when they're no longer in a relationship, they're no longer married, they're going through a divorce, the first person that they want to run to is a woman. And this is why I don't believe, me personally, I don't believe that women that are not male-centered should be friends with male-centered women, because as women, I'm tired of us being seen as mental rehabilitation centers for anything that revolves around a man. Like, a man will come to a woman and expect her to be a mental rehabilitation center. Give me peace. I want my peace. That's code for be a mental rehabilitation center. Let me trauma dump on you. Let me take all of my issues out on you, and you just sit there and deal with it. Male-centered women, they take on all that stuff that the man is putting on them, and they want to do the same exact thing. They want to dump it on you. They want to dump it on you. No, I'm tired of it. All of the women in my life who they were doing that shit, and I saw that it was a pattern, I quit being friends with it. I quit being friends with all of them. I cut them all off. You're not about to drain my energy. You're not about to drain my energy because you're choosing to make decisions. And then the thing about it is that you'll warn the women beforehand. You'll warn these women beforehand and tell them right when it's happening, in plain view and plain sight, I don't know about him. I don't know about him. Girl, you're hating. You don't know what you're talking about. You don't know him like I do. You're just mad because you don't got a man. You're just mad because no one wants you. They just start projecting all this stuff out on you and try to make it seem as if you're the problem, as if you want their man, as if you're hating on them. No one wants your man. I would say eight times out of 10, a woman is giving you this information out of protection. I would say 80% of the time, women are giving you this information out of protection. Women have more empathy than men. Women have way more empathy than men. So a woman, when she's giving you this information, she knows how it feels to get cheated on. She knows how it feels when she finds out that a man has a double life. She knows how it feels when a man is wasting her time and she's waiting to be committed to and he's refusing to commit to her. In most cases, women are going to be able to relate to you, but you're going to choose a man who most likely has no sense of empathy. And then you realize he has no sense of empathy once you keep trying to tell him your problems and he's telling you, get over it. That's just how life is. You'll be okay. And then you're like feeling empty inside. And so the first person that you want to run to is your homegirls because there's a level of empathy that she has that the man doesn't. Women aren't here as a resource to be there for you based upon the pain that you are willfully choosing to take on by being in proximity to a man that is no good for you. It's not women's job. And I highly encourage women that are going through this, women that have friends that are like this, you need to quit being friends with them. You need to quit being friends with them because the reason being, these women are going to slow you down. These women are going to slow you down. You're going to have to move them in with you. You're going to have to lend them a ton of money. You're going to have to constantly deal with them crying on your doorstep. He kicked me out. I don't have any place to go. I have to call the police. Something's going on. Like what? The whole reason why you were given the advice that you were given is so that way you could prevent this from happening. And because you didn't listen, now you, the friend that was trying to look out for this woman, now you have to be a part of cleaning up her mess. I literally dropped a friend because of this. Because her relationship was getting so messy to the point where it was spilling into my life and it was becoming unsafe. It was becoming unsafe for her. I said, I can't be friends with you anymore. I can't do this because you're with someone dangerous. You are with a dangerous person. I can't risk my life, my livelihood based off of the person that you chose to be with. Men are too dangerous. They are too dangerous for you to ever take a chance and take a risk on a woman who is deciding to deal with a man who is clearly dangerous, clearly abusive. If a woman is willing to do that and all the signs are there, it's very blatant that this is happening. What would make you think that she would not put you in a dangerous situation? She 100% would put you in a dangerous situation. She's putting her own self in dangerous situations by still being with a person like this. So damn true. I stopped being friends. Oh, dang. Oh, I stopped being friends with a girl who was making bad dating choices. Yes. Oh my God, my friend was called during her friend's physical fight with her friend's man. Her friend was punched by the man, and my friend went to go help her, but ended up hiding. I told her to never do that again. Exactly. I don't blame her. I'm not taking punches. Because you want to be with a man that's no good for you. Absolutely not. Hey. I had a friend like that. They always want you to listen and not judge. I'm judging. That's dumb. I'm always judging. I'm always going to judge. There has to be some sense of judgment casted onto people. There has to be. Because the thing about it is that if you don't judge a person based off of their decisions, they're going to keep on doing it in most cases. They're going to keep on doing it. And it's not because you want to outcast them, it's not because you want to make them feel bad about it, but you have to put a mirror up to people. You have to show them what you're seeing. Because the thing about it is that most people, I'd say about 85% of the population lacks self-awareness. If I were to just guess, I would say 85% of people lack self-awareness. So they don't even consciously understand the decisions that they're making. You are watching a movie when you're seeing another person live their life. They're just in the movie. They're just in the movie acting in whatever type of role. And then what happens is, because they lack self-awareness, they take it personal. They think it's an attack. And it's like, no, we're just trying to look out. We're just trying to look out for you. That's why they have, like, that's why it's called intervention. That's why it's called intervention. Is it a part of intervention is being judgmental. I think being judgmental has a negative connotation for it, to just you not hold people accountable. But no, in order to hold people accountable, there has to be some sort of judgment. There has to be some sort of judgment. Girl, I dropped my own cousin because she got pregnant for the 6th time by her schizophrenic, abusive ex-husband. She also kept trying to convince me to have kids, just destructive overall. They will suggest you make a decision, and they've made the same decision over and over and over, and it's never worked out for them. Setting you up for sabotage, essentially. Setting you up for failure, because they want you to be in their shoes. No. And this is why I encourage women to not be friends with women who are male-centered, number one. And also, not be friends with women who you see a pattern in their poor decision-making. Women that make poor decisions repeatedly over and over, those women are dangerous. Those women are a liability.
With high self-esteem do better in life because they have low tolerance for abuse. They sense negativity quickly and they stop it right there. People with low self-esteem tolerate a lot more, and worse things typically happen to them because they are used to being mistreated. They don't even notice that something is happening to them. When you identify as a treasure, your own first love, you begin to protect yourself from all sorts of bad things. And that is something that every human being should do.
One thing that I learned about when you're a woman with high self-esteem, you cannot go to certain people telling them your business or asking them for advice. Me personally, one thing that I've learned within the past year, with me having a high self-esteem and me really leaning into this lifestyle and this way of thinking that I have now, is that you cannot ask other people for advice based on your situation when you have a high self-esteem, because your measuring stick and that other person's measuring stick are completely different. They're completely different. So, like, for instance, I'm not saying that my best friend and I'm not saying that my mother have a low self-esteem. They got a high self-esteem. But I'm going to use this as an example. A big thing with having high self-esteem is understanding that you can make decisions based off of how you feel with no physical proof. Like, actually, all of the physical proof could be there. It could be a man, and on paper, he's perfect. On paper, he is perfect. But you just have a feeling about him. You know what I mean? He may be creepy. You may feel like he's hiding something. It's just something that just doesn't make sense. And so, you knowing this, you may tell someone. And so I told my best friend, and I told my mom, And I said, I'm not 100% sure about this guy. He does everything for me, pays for everything, spoils me. He's not mean. He's very nice to me. He did all the things. If you were to go, this is why I don't believe in dating advice. This is why I feel like women should not follow dating advice that is online, because the biggest thing is that when it comes to dating and relationships, women are always trying to have it be 2 + 2 = 4. Very cookie cutter. Dating advice is very cookie cutter. In the real world, there is nothing cookie cutter about dating. It's a very nuanced, very complex, very fluid thing that you are involving yourself with. So if we were to align what this man was doing and we put it up to what the dating advice coaches are out here saying, he did every single thing. He did every single thing perfect. When they say, "Oh, he should be inviting you over, and you should be meeting his family, you should be meeting his friends, he should be spending money on you, he should be taking you to nice restaurants." He did every single thing that he was supposed to do. But I still had a feeling. And so when I told my mom and when I told my best friend about this, well, he's done everything for you. He's done everything for you. And so it ended up turning out I was right. I was right. So I think the biggest thing is this. When you have a high self-worth, your high self-worth also has to come along with self-trust, in understanding that you know yourself enough. You know yourself enough to make certain decisions, and for those decisions to be made in your best interest. You know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, like someone said in the chat, we're not a monolith. We're not a monolith. And because, especially men, because men are so chronically online, it gets to the point where a lot of men will just study this stuff. They will just get online and study it and say, "Oh, well, what is it that I have to do to be able to sleep with a woman, or to get a woman to take care of me, or, do whatever it is that I need to do to be able to extract time and energy from a woman." And they will like take notes on this stuff, and then they will apply it to their dating life, but their intentions are not good. Their intentions are bad. This is the reason why when they have all of these quotes like, "Oh, well, you're not his dream girl, he hates you," all of those things, I feel like those types of quotes are very harmful, because it's rooted in lowering your self-esteem. When you tell a woman you're not his dream girl, you're pretty much saying you don't fit the mold of what he wants. You don't fit the mold of what he wants. And I say all the time, do you really think that a man who, the women that he liked, and they do fit the mold, if none of them wanted him, do you really think that he would choose to be alone? If all of the women that he met that fit the mold didn't want him, do you really think that he would weigh the option to say, a woman that fits my mold only, the woman that's my dream girl, or no woman at all? No. Men don't think like that. They don't have high standards. Their standards are not that high. They are not thinking dream girl or no girl. They're not thinking that. They're pretty much trying to put the idea in your brain that, oh, it's something wrong with you. His behavior would change based off of how you look or how you act. Even when women are married and women go to other women in their marriage or relationship is having an issue. Well, are you sleeping with him enough? Are you listening to him? Are you cooking? Are you cleaning? It's always what you are or are not doing. Always quick to check you to make sure that you have all the checks and balances going on correctly in your relationship. As if love and respect live in a vacuum. They don't. Cooking and cleaning and sleeping with a man is not the perfect recipe to not get cheated on. You leaving your career, you leaving your hometown, you leaving your family, leaving your friends, that is not the recipe for loyalty. It's not. There is no guarantee. There is absolutely no guarantee that you do all of these things that it is going to give you control over another person's behavior. So it has nothing to do with, well, if he wanted to, he would. Okay, if he wanted to, he would. There's another part to that. He can do it. If he wanted to, he would. He'll do it and then have a nefarious or sinister intention behind doing it. That's the reason why men want to do, that's why men are complaining about feeling like they're being used when they're taking you out on dates. Well, I don't want to take a woman out on a nice date. I don't want to take a woman on a nice date because the women are just using us for free meals. No, you're taking a woman out on a nice date because you want to get laid at the end of the night. If he wanted to, he would, is only half of the equation. Like, of course, if he wants to sleep with you, he's going to take you out to a fancy restaurant because he's expecting it to be a transaction. This advice, these sayings, these things that are being told out, these things that are being told, it's not good. It's not good advice that women are taking.
Ladies, men can smell desperation and low self-worth, and they know the type of women that they can treat bad. Here's why. And if you don't voice your concerns and you don't voice when he's inconsistent, what that tells him is that you don't have the confidence to walk away from the situation, i.e., you deserve less. And sis, you know you deserve way more. If you ignore the red flags, you know he's a red flag and you're still there and you know that he shouldn't be in your life and you still allow it. And that means that he feels that he can do anything he wants in a relationship and continue as is. If you don't know your standards, be a strict babe and stick to them, they're going to walk all over you and they can always smell when you're ready to lower their standards for them. If you have poor boundaries or allow men to continuously give you low effort, that sends a message to them that you allow breadcrumbs and it's never okay. And if your self-care game is lacking, you haven't done the inner work and you're not fully healed, that's the type of stuff that draw these type of low dusty bees to you like flies on honey. Ladies, you have to do that inner work so that you have the self-love and standard to connect with men that deserve you. Ladies, we are leveling up and only connecting with men that give us the princess treatment. And if you want more feminine energy dating tips like this, follow me.
100%. This is why your standards got to be high. This is why your standards got to be high. They have to be through the roof. The men are complaining so much because they understand that the higher your standards are, it's going to reduce their access to women. This is why they're so upset. Oh, well, we don't like your makeup. We don't like your wigs. We don't like this and this and that. Because they understand you're going to have more men that are going to be attracted to you and they know that you're expensive. This is why they want to humble women. They want your self-esteem low. They want your self-esteem low. They want you to value their opinion of you more than you value your opinion of you. Men hate to see women love themselves. Men hate to see women big themselves up and brag on themselves. Men can't stand it. Exactly. It requires them to do more. Men want to do the bare minimum and get all of the benefits from it. Men want to give below bare minimum effort and then enjoy all the perks. Enjoy all the perks that come along with below bare minimum effort. And it works out so well for them because there are plenty of women out here who are doing it. Giving them babies, moving into their house or moving them in, co-signing on cars, co-signing on houses, sticking around for 5 to 10 years, no marriage, knowing that you want to get married. Well, a ring is too expensive. I don't have the money for that. Our finances. Then 2 months later, he bought a new vehicle. He bought a new vehicle. I thought it was the finances. I thought you weren't financially in a position for us to get married, but you got a new truck. You got a new set of golf clubs. You became a member of the country club, and you mean to tell me that the finances are an issue as to why you can't get married? And women don't even question it either. Women don't even question it either. They're just like, oh, okay. But they like makeup wigs for other cultures. Exactly. No ring after a year, you go bye-bye. Exactly. We need to start activating the block button on if they try to play us. Never let a man play you twice. Never let a man play you twice. Never let a man reject you twice. Like, have some self-respect. Have some self-respect. If you look at your situation and you look at it as if it was a little girl version of you, your mindset will change. I promise you. If you picture the little girl version of you tolerating disrespect, tolerating abuse, tolerating all sorts of mistreatment from a boy, then it'll make sense to you. You'll realize, oh, wow, okay. Something's wrong with that. That shouldn't be something that is allowed. Exactly. Why are people so scared to block people on their cellular device? The reason being is because women understand on a subconscious level that if they block the man, they're blocking a potential to be, they're blocking their validation. They're no longer going to wake up to the good morning text. They're no longer going to have a potential date to get ready for. They're no longer going to have someone that they can go out on vacation with. They no longer have a +1 to the parties, to the weddings. Too concerned with validation. And male validation is worth nothing. It's worth nothing. It's just an idea that most women have in their heads. Who cares if you don't have a +1? Who cares if you go to a movie alone or dinner alone? Who cares? You're going to meet more people when you go out alone anyway. Why would you only want one man to be the only person that you're going to interact with and be able to meet? That doesn't make any sense to me. It makes no sense to me. You should want to be in a predicament where you can do things alone and go out with yourself. That way you can at least meet other people. Women are attached to the hope. He showed you who he is. Exactly. Nothing but limerence. Nothing but having that fairy tale be in the back of their minds of who they think that this man can eventually become. He's not changing. There's nothing that you'll ever be able to do to get him to change. It goes back to what I said earlier about external locus of control. Male-centered women with a low self-esteem, they live off external locus of control. In doing that based on a man, having a man be a part of your external locus of control, men are fickle. Men are fickle. Men are so fickle that they created beauty standards. They created makeup. They created having straight hair to be the standard. Straight long hair to be the standard. They created these things. Then get mad when you're doing things to fit the objective beauty standard. Well, why are you wearing makeup? I'm sick of these women getting BBLs. I'm sick of these women doing this, doing that. They're fitting the beauty standard that you created. But then they make fun of, oh, she's wearing blue hair and she has piercings and she has tattoos. How unclassy. Which one do you want? You don't like the beauty standard. And then you don't like the opposite of what the beauty standard isn't. If you base everything off of what a man is saying that he likes, what he wants women to do, what he enjoys women to do, you are going to be running in circles, going nowhere. You going to be running fast in place because men are extremely fickle. We saw that on Pop the Balloon. You don't look like your physique. You go to the gym. She had the same build as the girl before. And he did not pop his balloon based off of her physique. He did it with the girl after that one. I just don't think based off of your physique, with me being a personal trainer, that we would go well. Her physique did not variate much different than the two ladies before her. That's how you know they're full of shit. That's how you know that they are full of shit. Exactly. He chooses what he can afford. He chooses what he can actually manage. When a man sees, there was even a video, a guy had said, when I see a woman walk in and I see her with the little flower bracelet, the Van Cleef bracelet, he said, I know automatically I can't afford her. He says, I know automatically I can't afford her. She might be the most beautiful woman in the world. And he said, you know what? I just let that woman mind her own business and let her go about her day because I know I cannot afford her. Men know that women like money. Because the men that have money and the men that are generous with money don't mind giving women money because they have it. They know how to make more of it. They have an abundance mindset. So they don't care about a woman that has a certain lifestyle, a woman that looks expensive, because they know they can afford it. It's only the men that are broke. They don't have enough money. Those are the ones that are always butthurt. Well, you're too high maintenance. Why should you care about money? Shouldn't it be about love? And this is the thing. They're always going to try to leverage love with you. Anytime a man says that love is more important than money, block him immediately. Block him immediately. It shouldn't be about money. It's about love. It's about romance. Blocked. He's going to waste your time. He's not going to do anything nice for you. He's not going to take you on any nice date. Like literally, a man trying to leverage love against a woman to say that love is what outweighs money. A waste of time. He's straight up telling you that he's going to do shit to play on your emotions. He's going to do things to get you to emotionally invest in him. That way you don't leave and you'll have nothing to show for it. That girl, the first girl on Pop the Balloon, she asked all those men, what does love feel like to them? Loyalty, respect. And what's so funny is that the first guy, because I remember this, the first guy caught himself. The first guy caught himself because he said, respect, loyalty, caring. He said, for him, that's what he's expecting. He didn't say that as what he's going to give to the woman. He said that based off of what he wants from the woman. And that's why that's why at the very, very end, he corrected himself and he was like, that's what I'll give. That's what I'll actually give in a relationship. No, you were listing off everything that you would expect in a relationship. Whenever men say respect, loyalty, that is code for, I want a woman who's going to allow me to cheat. Because that's what loyalty is. Loyalty for anything that they allow, the ride or die, that's what they want. And then respect. Respect is code word for submissive. Respect is code word. You got to do whatever I tell you to do when I tell you to do it. I remember one time I remember one time I went on a date. Granted, this was back when I was using the dating apps, right? I had this story posted on TikTok. I did. I had this story posted on TikTok. The guy was a plumber, self-employed plumber. He was late to the date and he lived very, very close. He lived very close to the place and proceeded to tell me that the reason why he was late to the date was because he had to take a dump, I guess. He had to boo-boo, I guess. That's literally what he told me. He literally told me that. So I remember, because literally we texted and we went on a date the next day. We matched and then went on a date the next day. And I remember when we texted the day before, he said, "I'm older than you. Do you know what that means?" I said, "No, I don't know what that means. What does that mean?" "Well, because I'm older than you, you got to do everything I tell you to do." Because we were going on a date the next day, I kept it in my memory bank. I kept it in my memory bank and I was like, I don't know if he's really, really serious if he brings this shit up again. So he comes late, dressed terrible. I always make a joke. I was like, he had on a crew neck and it was crewed the fuck out. You know how the crew neck is supposed to kind of be like fitted? His shit was all saggy. Like he been and so he tells me on the date that he went to freaking prison. Okay, that he went to freaking prison while we're on the date. And then he repeated it again. He said, "Yeah, so I'm older than you." Because the guy was like 42. He was like, "I'm older than you. And so you know what that means, right?" And I was like, "No, inquiring minds would love to know. What are you trying to tell me?" "Oh, yeah, you have to do whatever I tell you to do." And so once again, I just stoic, no reaction. I couldn't wait for the date to end. I was like, I'm never talking to this man again. I'm never talking to this fucking man again. I get in my car. He calls me. He calls me. "So do we go together now? Do we go together now?" We just had one date and you already talking about I got to do everything you fucking say. Like, what are you talking about? What are you talking about? I drove off so fast and I told him straight up, I was like, "Listen, no, we don't go together. We're never going to talk again." "Well, why? Why we're not going to talk anymore?" And I said, "You made it very clear that I would have to do everything that you said, and I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it." "Well, that was a joke. That was a joke. I didn't mean that." I said, No. Mm-mm. Mm-mm. No, thank you. Even if you were joking, which I already knew he fucking wasn't. Even if you were joking about something like that, I would never accept that as a joke that I would just look past. Never. I would never hear someone tell me that and just think of it only as a joke. No, you want to be with someone that has a low self-esteem so you can run all over them. And you think that because you're older, it gives you more authority to try to tell me what to do. At the time, I think I was like 30. I think I was 30 at the time, maybe 31. No, I was 30. You think because I'm 30 and you're 42 or however old he was in his early 40s that I got to do whatever the fuck you tell me to do just because you're older than me and you can't even go to fucking Walmart and get you a fresh pack of Hanes crew neck t-shirts and you're over here telling me I have to listen to you? Right. Go together is old school talk from the 90s. Exactly. Exactly. Sounds like an average date. The dating apps are a nightmare. After that, I said, I'm done. I never used a dating app since. Actually, no, I lied. I lied. I think I used the dating app one more time after that. But that date was good. That the time I went out with him, that was good. And like we still talk. But that was the one date that I went on, and I was like, oh hell no. Oh hell no. Mm-mm. I had a guy be 2 hours late for our date, literally because he decided to stop by a karaoke bar and party with his dad first. Like what? I don't I just don't understand. We don't want men who can't listen and do yeah. I, men are always trying to say that submission is natural. It would never be natural if you had to actually tell someone that they had to submit to you. They're practically begging women to submit to them. And you got women out here. This is the thing about it. We already said a lot of women have a low self-esteem, and so they will put up with this. The reason why these women have a low self-esteem is because typically they don't like how they look. They don't fit the objective beauty standard. They have little to no self-worth. They haven't done any of the inner work for them to have any self-respect or self-love. And so they'll take anything. They'll take anything. The issue is that the men don't want those women. The men don't want those women. And this is why when men say to women, well, the men that want you, the men that you want don't want you, it's 100% a projection. It's 100% a projection when they say that. Because the thing about it is this. It's all about semantics. I'm a firm believer in that. It is all about semantics. Men always try to say, oh, you're word fishing, you're thinking too deep. Words do have meaning. And you pick and choose what words you are going to say based off of what you're trying to evoke. If a man has said, the man you want doesn't want to commit to you, then I would be like, okay, that's fair. You got me. That's fair. That's more of the reality shaped by women. The man that they want won't commit to them. What does it mean? What does it mean when we use the term want? When you say I want you. When a man says I want you, what is he usually talking about? They're usually talking about the bedroom. They're usually talking about the bedroom. Women aren't looking at men. Women aren't looking at men in that way and just peeping out men constantly. Oh, I want him. I want him. I want him. Men do that. Men do that. It's 100% a projection. No. Men, are you kidding me? Men want everybody. Men want everybody. They'll take anything walking. So that's how you know it's a projection. Nobody, the women you want, don't want you. The women that you want, they don't want you, boo. They don't want you, boo. The reason why men prey on women that have a low self-esteem, first of all, it starts when these little boys are young. Okay, it starts with their socialization. Young boys are taught at a very, very young age that their self-worth is measured through their dominance over men, but primarily over women. Okay, and we already know that men have a very, very fragile ego. Okay, and with patriarchy, they teach that, your self-worth, men have an external locus of control. A whole man's being is based off an external locus of control. That's why they project it onto women. That's why they're always telling women, You guys, we don't want you guys on the internet. We don't want you all posting. You just want validation. You just want validation. No, they're the ones that want validation because they live through an external locus of control. They project it onto women. Most men don't have a high self-esteem. So that's the reason why they're always seeking external validation. The easiest way to do that is to keep women insecure and to constantly pick on women. This is why when you have like trolls online or you have men that are being rude to you, when they try to insult you, take it as a compliment. Take it as a compliment. Oh, well, you're wearing a wig. Why don't you wear your real hair? Because I borrowed the wig from your mom and I like this wig. This wig looks good on me. Thank you. Tell your mom I said thank you for the wig. I appreciate it. Thank you. Oh, well, you have on that makeup. Yeah, it took me about 30 minutes to do. It looks gorgeous. Thank you. Thank you for noticing, by the way. That means I must have did a good job. You were able to notice my makeup. Thank you. That's the reason why I put it on, for you to notice it. I talked about it earlier in the chat, but another reason is the media. The media and the double standards and the culture centered around women constantly having to be placed in a box of some sort in order to be desirable to men. So you're already watching media and they're already placing women in roles where you're being shown that the women are submissive, the women need rescuing. It's something wrong with the women, and so they need a man to come in and rescue them. Cinderella, Beauty and the Beast, Snow White. There has to be some type of damsel in distress submissive role that the women are always put in. In the media, usually women that are in movies and in TV shows, the independent woman is always vilified. The woman that doesn't care about man is always vilified. It's like in Cruella de Vil. In Cruella de Vil, they made her the villain. They made Cruella de Vil the villain. Because she's like, why are you going to give up something that means a lot to you, something that you enjoy doing for a man? I think Cruella de Vil even said, we've lost more women to marriages than we've lost men to war. And they vilified her. She was the villain. Men constantly want to humble women. Men constantly want to humble women because they prey off of your self-esteem. They need your self-esteem low to have a chance with you. And don't let you be a woman that demands respect. Oh, don't let you be a woman that demands respect. Because see, the thing about it is, this is another important thing. When you do have a high self-esteem and you choose to deal with men, be prepared. Be prepared for a man to try to put you back in place, get you back in order, put you on a pedestal and knock you off of it. Be prepared. You're too difficult. This is why no one wants to deal with you. This is the reason why you're single. No one wants to put up with this. You're stuck up. You're too full of yourself. You're beside yourself. When you're a woman that demands respect and you have a high self-esteem and you end up bumping arms with the wrong type of guy, this is exactly what he's going to do. This is exactly what he's going to do. And the thing about it is that your self-esteem ebbs and flows. Like, self-esteem is not something that you arrive at and you stay at, because things can happen. Things can happen. If you might have had a high self-esteem and then you got pregnant and then you got stretch marks. You know, maybe you've gained weight. that would then affect your self-esteem in most cases. So your self-esteem, it's not something that you will arrive at and it will just stay stagnant. Your self-esteem is something that you constantly have to keep working to get it once you've lost it. This can be through numerous things. It could be your family, it could be work, it could be your body, it could be how other people treat you. And so you also have to have boundaries on how you're going to let other people treat you. Despite you having a high self-esteem, you have to have very, very strict boundaries. As soon as I demand respect and a man tries to push back at the demand that I respect and I know I'm being reasonable, like for instance, I don't let men just call me and ask me, "Oh, what are you doing? Can I pick you up right now and take you out on a date?" No, 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 no. I tell them straight up, either plan a time to see me or never contact me again. You're not about to just pick up the phone. You're not about to just pick up the phone and expect for me to hop up out of bed and get ready and stop what I'm doing just to see you. It ain't happening. It ain't happening. And that's the way that they're testing you. They want to see, let me surprise her. Let me surprise her. Let me see if she's busy right now. And if she is busy, let me see if she's willing to drop everything that she's doing. That way she could spend time with me. I had a guy do that, and I said, no. I said, if you want to see me, you're going to be respectful of my time, not just your time, because you only called me because you're available and you didn't plan anything with me. That's rude. You don't pick up the phone and call somebody and be like, let's go out and do something. No, my time is valuable. You have to plan something. That is a rigid boundary of mine. I do not do spontaneous. I don't do anything spontaneous when it comes to men. No, everything must be planned. That is a very strong boundary of mine. And so what they'll do, they'll know, she's getting up and she's getting up, and either they gonna look at it one of two ways. You have no life. Or number two, you value him so much that you're going to put your life and your things, your hobbies on hold for him. Yep, he only called because the other girl canceled. Exactly. And so then guess what? I made him take me out. I made him take me out to the nicest places that we could go. And then I never talked to him again after that. Never talked to him again after that. I had him take me to the nicest places that we could go. Had him spend a few $100s on me. And then I'm like, no, we're never ever going out on a date again. Never going out on a date again. Nope. The more you try to defend yourself, the more you're lowering your vibration. Focus on climbing to the top of the mountain. Leave the people at the bottom and don't look back to argue. Yup. Another thing is that men have a very hard time. Another thing that men look for when it comes to you having a low self-esteem, they don't want you to know that you're beautiful. They don't want you to know that you are pretty. Like if a man compliments you, that's another thing that how men will test you. So a man will compliment you, especially early on. I would say 60% of the compliment, is him trying to read you to see how you're going to respond to the compliment. And then 40% of it is him actually meaning the compliment. If a man gives you a compliment and he says, "You look gorgeous tonight," oh, stop it. You're too kind. Please. No, I look okay. He already knows you have a low self-esteem. He already knows that you don't understand how other people perceive you. He already knows that. And so he gonna size you up in his brain and be like, oh, okay. She doesn't even realize that she's attractive. She doesn't even realize that she looks good. So I can leverage this and I can use this to my advantage. So one day they'll compliment you. What they'll do, they'll compliment you. And then a couple of days go by and then they'll say something mean or rude about your appearance. Oh, you didn't wear any makeup today. You look tired. So first you're on a high because they compliment you, and then you'll be on a low because they said something disrespectful to you. And then what happens is this starts activating in your brain like a reward. This is grooming. This is grooming. This is 100% what this is. They're grooming you pretty much through negative reinforcement. So then now you're going to be going back and forth in your head like, oh, okay, well then I guess I like need to wear makeup, or I guess I need to do this, or I guess I need to do that because he complimented me when I did this, but then he said something mean when I did that. So in order for me to keep getting compliments, I need to only do this. And they'll keep doing this in other ways, in other forms. You giving them money, you taking them out, you buying them something, you moving them in, you tolerating disrespect. If a man compliments you, thank you. That's it. Thank you. Confidence is something, it's an aura. It's an aura. People can only feel confident. You can have your makeup done, you can have a BBL, you can have all of those things. You can visually be pretty. But your confidence in your aura is something that other people feel. Men look for that. This is why whenever I'm in a relationship, my boyfriends will always tell me, whenever I go out in public with you, you command so much attention. Every time we walk into a place, it's always eyes on you. Everyone is always paying attention to you. It's because of my aura. It's because of the confidence. So even when my relationships don't work, it's usually because the man doesn't feel confident enough. And thankfully, for the most part, I've been lucky enough to be with men who have enough self-awareness to say, you know what, I'm going to get out your way. I'm going to let you be because I'm not worthy. I'm not worthy. This is outside of my bracket. It ain't nothing I could do for you. I got to go get my life together and date within my league. You know what I mean? Because you have a lot of confidence. When men feel your confidence, it's good. That also is going to repel dusties because you're already signaling to them, oh damn, she's got a high self-esteem. I won't be able to extract anything from her. I have no benefit in dealing with a woman like this. I touched on this earlier. Women with low self-esteem are easier to manipulate. Like, let's just call it what it is. They're easier to manipulate. And the reason being is because they overlook all these red flags. We just seen Miss Nikki Baby yesterday on a couch with her baby daddy. Didn't even want her hand on top of his hand. Didn't even want to help open up the presents for the baby that they're having together. Over here looking at a picture of his mom and saying, I love her. I don't know. She held it down. I don't know. You cooking bacon in pots and pans, contaminating them, and you're Muslim. He over here talking about, oh yeah, she cook what I want now. She cook what I want now. He did not say anything. I don't think he said one thing about Nikki that he liked. When he complimented her because she was cooking. That's it. He complimented her cooking skills. All them red flags. And it takes for you to become baby mama times 2, and then for him to knock up another woman and abandon you for you to finally see the red flags. Low self-esteem. Low self-esteem, accepting way, way less than what she deserves. I also mentioned emotional leverage earlier. Okay, emotional leverage. Men don't have a whole lot of self-worth. Okay, they don't have a lot of self-worth. And so they're going to play on your emotions, they're going to get you vulnerable. They're going to play with their emotions on puppet strings so that way they can have superiority in relationships. Did anyone watch the Gabby Petito documentary on Netflix yet? I watched it the night before last. That was what her boyfriend was doing to her. And unfortunately, that's what caused her life being taken. He was using emotional leverage. They had showed the text messages between those two. She had the aspirations of becoming a YouTuber. And the thing about it is that Gabby still has her Instagram and Gabby still has her YouTube channel. And it's so crazy because I looked back at her YouTube channel and I looked at her Instagram, and it was so crazy how people in the comments were literally saying, like, look into the boyfriend. And the family was already saying he was awkward. Something was off about him. But in the documentary, they had showed the text messages between Gabby and her boyfriend. He was pissed because she wanted to start a YouTube channel and she wanted to start making money so that way they could get the van and have enough money to travel. She took a job at Taco Bell. He was trying to use her having a job as emotional leverage as if she was abandoning him. And he would say things like, I can't live without you. You know, you're the love of my life. And into a normal, in our society, that would be cute. Right? He loves me. He can't live without me. He wants me to be with him. We would take that as a compliment. That was him having emotional leverage. That was him playing on her emotions to make her feel bad. He didn't like it when he was hanging out with her best friend. He didn't like it when she was going to work at Taco Bell. He constantly was trying to make it seem as if I can't live without you, and you're doing all these things, and you're abandoning me. So then it makes her feel bad, and then you neglect the things that you really want to do. You neglect hanging out with your friends because now he's played on your emotions. And unfortunately, and then the footage too, you know, the footage, which was horrible with their domestic dispute, absolutely horrible, because it's very clear that the police officer was siding with him. And then if you pay close attention, she was trying to protect him still. She didn't want to see, the police officer had to point out, he asked, so did he put his hands on you? Did he put his hands on you? And I can't remember what she said, but she was pretty much trying to cover up for him. And the police officer was like, I see scratches on your arms. Like, what is that on your face? The police officer is trying to have her open up. And she refuses to open up. She just hints at the fact that this man has done something to her. That's how in control, that's how far he has manipulated her. That's how far he has groomed her and used her emotions and leveraged them to the point where she is protecting a man who put his hands on her. So far to the point, now the police is siding with him. They had her stay the night in the van, a woman alone, in the van, in the mountains, in the valley, and let him go to a hotel for people that are victims of domestic violence. Makes no sense. Makes no sense. We have to understand these things to prevent things like this from happening. Women are losing their lives. Femicide is increasing more and more and more, and it's not helping because men are taking in this content, this red pill content, and all it is fueling their hatred for women. Another thing, low self-esteem women don't know how to leave. They're less likely to leave. This is the reason why men, they're always saying the divorce rate. Women file for divorce 70% of the time. They don't want to be left. If there was a woman that has a low self-esteem, her being with him being around is her lifeline. It's her lifeline. Having a man is like her being on life support. That's how bad she needs it. If she pulls the plug from her relationship, she's going to flatline. That's how dependent she is on having a man around. And so men know that if they're with a woman who has a low self-esteem, they know that she will not leave. I mentioned it earlier, the predatory cycle, because that's what it's called. The humbling, the criticisms, the negging. You know, you're cute, but you'd be a little bit cuter if you lost a little weight. You know, I don't like girls with short hair. You know, you'd be cuter if you had longer hair. And if they see you react to that with insecurity, they see you make a face, they see you get upset, they see you say, that wasn't nice, that was mean. They already know that you care. They already know that you're insecure about certain things. They already know. If you react to negging, to criticism, and things like that, if you react to it with insecurity instead of shutting that shit down, they already know that you're going to be malleable. You're going to contort yourself. You're going to do whatever it is that they want you to do in order to gain their validation, gain their approval. That's the reason why I have the ebook. That's the reason why I made the ebook in my Patreon. Male validation traps. I have about 5 different methods that men use for women to gain their validation, to have women be in a predicament where they gain male validation. Because that's what men are looking for. Men are using multiple tactics to put you in a predicament where you work for their validation. And over time, what happens, they're emotionally abusing you. They're emotionally abusing you. Now your whole life is tied to what they think of you. All your decisions will be based off of their approval. Fairy tales and media tropes, body image standards, comparison cultures. Those are all systemic ways of undermining female confidence. The hero complex. The princess is a damsel in distress. She's helpless until a man comes in and saves her. The beauty standards. Now thin is in. After the BBLs and everything else, now thin is in. Yep, don't argue with them. You say, I like myself this way. Their opinion doesn't matter. Exactly. One of my exes played that game with me. I cussed him out in the middle of a party city a day before his birthday. His entire birthday was ruined. I love it. I love it. How should we react? How should we react? Because I will argue back. If a man does something like, you're cute, but you would be cuter if you lost a little weight. I like how I look. I like my weight. I feel beautiful with the weight that I'm at. Don't feed into the insecurity. Don't feed into the insecurity. Yep, never tell a man your insecurities. Never, ever, ever. Nope, never. Never tell them your insecurities. And if you do tell them an insecurity, make up one. I always say, if a man asks you your insecurity, tell him the thing that you love about yourself the most. Tell him the thing you love about yourself the most. So if he tries to bring up, I don't know, I'm trying to think of something that a woman would like about herself. I don't know. Her nails. Maybe your nails are naturally long. I don't know, you like your nails. Or maybe you like your weight. You like your body shape. Oh, I love my body. No, my largest insecurity is my body. My biggest insecurity is my body. I have an issue with my body. So then when he tries to go for your body, it won't even bother you. It won't even bother you because little does he know he's trying to make fun of an insecurity that don't even exist. That don't even exist. I learned so much from my first marriage. Now I'm 50 and single and would never consider another relationship unless he's wealthy and busy. Exactly. Exactly. Because see, the thing about it is this. When you argue back with a man, I like doing it online. I like doing it online, coming for their hairline, coming for things like that. But in person, they already know that once you react that way, they got you. They do. They got you. The most dangerous game a woman can play with a man is to give no reaction and to be stoic. Because men understand that women are emotional. Men understand that women will say shit that's mean in the heat of the moment. Women will make empty threats. So men already kind of know, you know what? Okay. She like I was watching I think it was this morning with Ray J and Princess, back when they used to be together, and Ray J had broken up with Princess, and she threw the wine at him. She threw the wine at him. He already knew. He already knew. She's still in love with me. She's still obsessed with me. She can't handle rejection. She gave him the exact reaction that he wanted to confirm that she was still hooked. If a man says, I don't want to be with you anymore, say, okay. All right. When do you want me to, what time do you want me to pick up my things? Like, can I pick up my things tonight and just get them? I'll give him his key back. If he had a key to his place, do all that shit right away. Okay. We breaking up. All right. Here's your key back. If they put you down, that should be your cue to never let them have access to your presence again. Exactly. Ray J is so tiny in person. Is he? My biggest insecurity is my big blue eyes and luscious hair. And you can even make a story about it too. Yeah, my insecurity are my big blue eyes. When I was in school, they used to tease me. They used to call me a wolf. They used to call me demon eyes. They used to say I reminded them of a dog. And so, yeah, like I just have a lot of insecurity about my eyes. Like sometimes I think about, if I should get contacts or not. Girl, give them a whole story. Give them a whole story. They will. They'll fall for it. They gonna think they win in the argument too. He gonna throw it in your face. He gonna throw it in your face during the argument. Yeah, and that's why you got called demonized when you were in school. And it won't even hit the same. You're gonna be cracking up inside. You gonna be cracking up inside because that's their favorite thing to do. Whatever you tell them, whenever you're vulnerable, whenever you expose an insecurity or some story, they're always going to bring it up again. You're going to be laughing on the inside because you're going to be like, little does he know, none of this even happened. Little does he know, I get nothing but compliments on my eyes. Yep. The only way to win is to not play. I don't go through scenarios in my mind about how to respond because I already know I'm not going to respond. I'll just play aloof and avoid them. I'm telling you, ladies. Like I said, online, it's fun. Online, I will clap back at the drop of a hat. Okay? Because these clowns have no profile pictures. These clowns are too ugly to even show their actual face. You know what I mean? So of course I don't give a fuck about clapping back online. But in real life, no. Mm-mm. Men hate it when you're stoic and men hate it when you're aloof. I just had a situation with a guy. Listen, I literally just had a situation with a guy. And so I asked one of my guy friends about the situation, and I'm going to tell you exactly what he said. He said, you got nigga tendencies. A lot of men can't handle that for real. Like you being nonchalant. Niggas hate that. Men hate it when you're nonchalant. Men hate it when you don't react, when you don't respond, when you don't do anything. They hate it. Abusers try to isolate Gabby's community. Gabby's community failed her. Her family failed her. Women need a strong community to protect them. 100%. Seeing that whole thing play out with Gabby, it was heartbreaking. It was heartbreaking because even her own friend, even her best friend was like, something is wrong. Something is wrong with this relationship. Something is up. Something is up. And it's just kind of like, you could tell he was awkward. And then the thing about it, I am going to do a video on boy moms and toxic boy moms. But the mother writing the letter saying that, I love you so much, son. I'll do anything for you, son. I will bury someone for you. His mom literally wrote and burn after reading. I will put someone in a body bag. I will bury a body for you. They literally kept their son bunkered up inside of the home, would not let police come. He already had gotten a lawyer. Please go on Netflix. The documentary just came out. Please go on Netflix and watch that documentary. It was sickening to see how his own parents protected him, knowing what he did. Yeah, boy, I'm telling you, boy moms uphold the patriarchy more than any other demographic. Always a boy mom behind these monsters. Always. And you could just tell. You could just tell that something was wrong with him. You could just tell that he was off. This is why when I had did my video talking about the professions, when girls were saying that they had liked men that were in tech and men that were in IT and very nerdy men, socially awkward men, I don't trust men that are socially awkward. Something is wrong with them. They have like a form of autism. And there's nothing wrong with being autistic. I'm about 90% positive I'm neurodivergent myself, even though I haven't technically been diagnosed. So nothing against anyone with autism. Nothing wrong with that. But men are already mutants. So when you add the Y chromosome and then you add autism on top of it, it's a recipe for disaster. Yeah, I'm definitely ADHD. 100%. Um, it's a disaster. You're taking a mutant chromosome and then you're adding autism with it. Oh, child. Oh, child. No. The quiet kid, the awkward kid, no. That ends up being the kid that's going to pew pew up the school. Okay, that ends up being the grown adult who gets fired from his job and then he's upset and he comes to the job and he light the whole place up. Oh, this lip color. I just bought this actually. So, it's by Juvia's Place. Oh, I don't know if you could see. But this is from you could get it at Ulta. It's like 14 bucks. Um, okay, it's back focusing. It's 14 bucks. It's from the candy shop, their candy shop collection. It has like swirls in it, but it's cool because you can swirl it, and depending on how you swirl it will kind of depend on if you get it more pink, if you get it more mauve, if you get it lighter, if you get it darker, and it's scented. It's scented. It literally smells just like bubble gum. Smells just like bubble gum. But yeah, I saw this. I went to Ulta a couple days ago and I was like, "Oh, this is pretty." And then I tried it on and I was like, this is cute." And it's very pigmented too. Very, very pigmented. I love Juvia's Place. Choose your own adventure lip gloss. When my ex and I broke up, he got so irritated that I was like, "Okay, bye." He didn't know what to do. I'm telling you. I'm telling you, they get pissed. They get pissed when you don't respond to them, when you don't give them any type of reaction. They claim that women are so emotional. They know that women are emotional and they want to use that as leverage. They want to use that as leverage. One, I mentioned, well, because my ADHD, I veered away from the subject, but comparison culture between women. Whenever a man, no, let me say this again. Men men rarely ever state their preference without downing their non preference. Like, it's very rare, at least online, where you hear a man just say, "Oh, I like thick women." It'll be like, "Oh, I like thick women because thin women are XYZ, whatever." Whenever a man brings up another woman to you and he starts comparing y'all, that's another shit test. That's another shit test. It could be any woman, his mom, his ex girlfriend, his sister. When he starts comparing y'all, he's looking for what you're gonna say next. So if he tells you, you know, "Oh, you cook for him or something," or no, we'll do it based off of your body type. Actually, my ex's body was, oh my god, it was amazing. Like, her body was so nice. She had a nice body. But you're more on the thin side. Usually I don't date thin girls. And be like, I'm sure she did have a nice body. I'm sure she was beautiful. I'm sure she looked fantastic. I'm sure she looked really, really good. He's not gonna know what to do. He's gonna be like, "What?" He ain't gonna know what to do because he's expecting for you to get defensive. He's expecting for you to start talking shit about the other girl or saying, "Well, okay, well, she probably can't do this. She probably can't do that." He's doing that to see how you're going to respond, to see if you're going to feed into the competition, to make you feel like he's the prize, to make you start performing for him. Next, oh, that would be the last convo. Go to her then. Exactly. I wouldn't be talking to a man like that ever again. You're gonna start competing, having me compete with another woman over you. Okay, if I'm not your type, why are you here? Why are you here? But they already know. They already know if you say, "Oh, well, why don't you go back to her?" They already are like, "Oh, well, you're giving a reaction." You take the side of the woman. I always take the side of the woman, and they don't know what to do. I always agree with them. "Oh, I'm sure she was beautiful. Oh, I'm sure she could do whatever, whatever better." And they're like, "What the?" I wasn't expecting that response. When a man is trying to triangulate me with a woman, I always side with the other woman because it's the opposite. It's the opposite of what they are expecting you to respond with. Side with the other girl, and they are going to be so shocked. Pick pick Misha. Only pick Misha is going to sit here and start sizing herself up against another woman that she doesn't even know, that she never even met. Hell, she may not even exist. You know how often men come up with fake girlfriends? Men say, I'm talking to like 3 or 4 girls right now. They try to come up with all types of things to try to make it seem as if they're the prize. You might be competing with a woman that never even fucking existed. He just saying that to plant a seed of insecurity into your head and make you question yourself and make your self-esteem low. Oh, my last man schlong was so much bigger, thicker, and longer. Oh my god, that's so funny. I had told a guy that. So there was a guy, we hooked up, he wanted to hook up again, and he was mad that I had rejected him because I rocked his world and he did not rock mine. I did not have a good time. I just didn't. And so he was mad because I rejected him. And I told him straight up, I was like, listen, I'm already physically involved with someone. And the reason why I'm physically involved with that person is because that person does it for me and you just don't do it for me. And he was pissed. Well, then fine. Fine. Why don't you go hit him up then? Go talk to him then. And I was like, ha, you're mad. You're mad. Like Princella said, the best way for a man to get back at another woman is to use another woman to do it. They know women are pick-me's and triangulate. Yeah. I ain't falling for it. I ain't falling for it. If you got to use another woman as an example or to play into a scenario of what you prefer or what you like, what would be the purpose of that? What would be the benefit to a relationship to even bring up your preference or your ex or comparing? It doesn't bring any benefit to the relationship. So that's how you know they're bringing it up. They're bringing it up as a shit test. They're bringing it up to gauge and test the temperature on where you stand with your self-esteem. That would be the only reason why they're bringing it up. Because that information will not contribute anything. This is also why I feel as though men will, that's why I have the thumbnail with the man looking at another woman. Men will say that they can't control it. I can't control it just looking at another woman. Yes, you can. You 100% can control it. You're looking at another woman in front of the woman that you're with to make the woman that you're with feel insecure. Another reason why women have low self-esteem and why it can make them be a victim to men: parental and societal reinforcement. Girls are raised to be nice. We also seen this on Pop the Balloon. Those women were way too nice. They asked very easy, very basic, very cookie cutter questions. The first girl felt bad. I don't want to pop. I feel bad. Girl, you signed up to be on a show where you will be rejecting people. What you mean you feel bad? That's the point of the show. The men were assertive because boys are raised to be assertive. The men had no problem. As soon as she said, I have a son, pop, 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 they had no problem. And she's over here afraid to pop the balloons of the men that she does not like. As little girls, we're raised to be people pleasers. We're raised to be nice. And daughters were usually policed a lot more than the sons. So starting very, very young, girls are already taught to shrink themselves, to monitor themselves, to feel bad for taking up space, to feel bad for saying what you like, what you dislike, what makes you feel uncomfortable. We were groomed into people pleasing behavior. So that's going to make you more of a target to a man because that lowers your self-esteem. You're operating from an external locus of control. Men benefit greatly from women's low self-esteem. That's why they want you to have low self-esteem. That's why they don't like powerful, emboldened, confident, high standard, high value women. They don't benefit from those women. So a woman that does not know her worth, she's not going to demand anything. She won't know what to ask for. She won't know what to tolerate and not tolerate. She'll just take anything thrown at her. Low effort men love women with self-esteem. These are the women accepting coffee dates. They're just happy they got a date. When you're a woman who constantly have men throwing dates at you, you constantly have the options. You're going to be like, the only way that I'm going out on a date with you is if we go to where I want to go, or we go to the place that has the caliber of where it is that I want to go. Women that's taking coffee dates, women that's taking hiking dates, they're just grateful they got a date in the first place. They're just happy that someone asked them out. So those type of women are very easy to breadcrumb. And those men that are doing that, those pick-me-shas are still going to worship those types of men because their bar is set so low.
Tell you something about a woman. We as men, when we meet you, we can smell low self-esteem.
Woo! Smell it.
He said low self-esteem has a smell to it. I said, I've never heard that. He said it has a smell, it has a look. I don't care how prerogative you're dressed. I don't care how sophisticated you think you're looking. Low self-esteem has a smell, and let me tell you why. Because it's not the outer, it's the...
Just in case they copyright me. But you said, I don't care how many BBLs you get, how many times you've been on the table, your waist being snatched. If the low self-esteem is there, you're not dealing with the reality of who you are. And you need to go heal so that way you can walk in self-love. And you're still going to keep protecting you're still going to keep attracting those same type of men. Ooh, that sounds good. Shopping and sushi. Ugh. That's what I need. Shopping and sushi. That sounds like a good combo. Yeah, one of my coworkers invited me on a hiking date. I'm like, why would I go in the woods with somebody I don't even know? Yeah, that's weird. I would get smacked in the face for not being nice as a kid. See, my parents raised a ferocious, confident bitch, and I love them for that. That's what I'm saying. Listen, I was raised to be a bitch. I was raised to not be nice. No one ever in my family taught me to be nice. It was like, if someone hits you, you hit them back. You don't let anyone walk over you. You don't let anyone talk to you any old kind of way. You don't let anyone treat you any old kind of way. That's how I was raised. There's even men that I still talk to occasionally from preschool, and they will remind me of how I was in preschool. They literally have told me, you were bold even in preschool. You didn't give a fuck even in preschool. I'm from Indiana. Oh, yeah, when a boy mom has a daughter, and there's so much content where these boy moms will literally straight up say that they prefer their sons over their daughters, like, wild. Wild. Men also benefit from dealing with low self-esteem women because they get a therapist. Okay, they get someone that gives them a ton of emotional labor, overgiving, caretaking. I could fix him. I could fix him. I could change him. Any woman that says she could fix a man, she could change a man, pick Misha. Low self-esteem, no self-respect. Men like to target these types of women because they can use her as an emotional crutch. She'll be an emotional crutch. She'll be a mother. She'll be a therapist. And then they're not going to reciprocate any of that. Men will say, choose better, choose better, choose better. And then yet we will choose to leave. And this is one of the biggest threats. This is one of the biggest threats to patriarchy is when women choose themselves over a man. I always laugh because men are really bad at giving instructions. And the reason why men are bad at giving instructions is because they don't even want to read instructions. Choose better, choose better. You didn't tell us who to choose. They just assume choose better means choose another man, a different man. Learn how to give proper instructions. Choose better. That's not even a complete sentence. That's not even a complete sentence. Why won't you actually say what it is that we're supposed to be choosing? And then now you're mad that we're choosing ourselves. You didn't say who to choose. So that's another reason why they want women with a low self-esteem. They want women that are way too afraid to choose themselves. That's why they always want to shame us. You're selfish. You're selfish. You damn right I'm selfish. Because if I ain't got, who gonna have me if I ain't got me? If I don't like me, who else is gonna like me? If I don't take care of me, who else is gonna take care of me? You damn right I'm selfish. I yelled at my kindergarten teacher for bullying the mute girl. Damn, look at you. I love that. So fierce. So fierce. Wow, this one guy asked me to go to a rave in Jersey with him. We live in DC. Why would I go out of state with someone I do not know? Have you seen the news? Like, oh my God, yeah. He wants you to go to a different state in an environment where people are taking substances, hard substances, where you could get roofied, where something dangerous could happen to you, and you don't know anyone. We are the better choice, not another man. Yes, you said it. These ex-wives don't know what better is. They can't level up. So ladies, stay away from the ex-wives. Exactly. Choosing better means choosing yourself first. Always. These girly pop dudes that think they could be better women than the ones they argue with online telling them to choose better. And I always ask them, where are these good men at? You're walking right past them. They're right in front of you. And then whole time the measurement for good for a man is just a man that's not putting his hands on you. A man telling you that he's a good man is a completely different standard of the good man that a woman wants. That's the issue. Good in their head is a completely different version of good to us as women. That's what men fail to understand. Just because you think that you're a good man That don't mean that I think that you're a good man. There are a lot of people out here, they have a certain music artist and they think that that music artist can sing. Just because you think that they can sing doesn't mean that I think that they can sing well. Like, honestly, I like Rihanna's music, but I don't think Rihanna can sing that good. Like, Rihanna's not a vocalist. She has a voice, you know what I mean? Like, she can carry a tune, but Rihanna can't sing to me. But there are a lot of people who think that Rihanna can sing. We have two different standards. When I'm thinking of people that can sing, I'm thinking of Mariah Carey. I'm not thinking of Rihanna. I'm thinking of Whitney Houston. Two completely different standards. I'm not going off of a man's standard of good. A man's standard of good is in the pits of hell. No, actually, a man's standard of good is 1 millimeter above the pits of hell. Whenever a man is saying, I'm a good man, it's good man all out here. A good man is a man who is right. He's a millimeter above the pits of hell. You can still feel the heat of the flames on your feet when you're dealing with these good men. Like, no. And I say all the time, I don't want a good man. I want a great man. I want an extraordinary man. I want an astounding man. Good is C's. When I was in school, I never wanted to get C's. I wanted to get A's and I wanted to get B's. Good is average. Good is the bare minimum. No, I don't want that. If a good man, if that's all you can offer me, you can keep it. You can keep it. A good man wouldn't even say he's a good man. My point exactly. It would be displayed through action. You would be able to look at what he's done to you, done for you, done with you, and you would be able to know he's a good man, how he's treated you, how he's made you feel. You would be able to know, okay, that's a good man. Last guy I heard tell me he was a good guy, he was in jail. My point exactly. If you believe them when they say good, Lord knows what you're getting. I pretty much mentioned these already, but the way that women that have a low self-esteem can make their dating life way easier. I already told you, you need to take a year away, about a year or so away from dealing with men at all. No dates, no talking, no situationships. I would go as far as to encourage celibacy for a year, if I'm being quite honest. That way you don't have the flesh leading you into crappy decisions as well. I would say minimum a year. But the number one thing is to just wake up first. You need to wake up so that way you can recognize these red flags. Men that are obsessed with humbling women, every time they're talking about women, is something wrong with them. They're not good enough. They're not doing this. They're not doing that. It's just there's always an issue with women. Walk away. Men that praise you for your insecurities. That's another thing, too. This is what a lot of women fall into this trap. This is another way men will test you. When they say things, oh, I love how low maintenance you are. I love how hardworking you are. How you're so ambitious. How you don't need me for anything. Those are not compliments. He's literally telling you that he respects the fact that you're allowing him to do nothing to make your life better. He's literally complimenting you by saying, I love that you allow me to do the absolute bare minimum and just exist in your life without doing nothing for you. Thank you. Any man that makes you question yourself, they're making you question yourself. And the reason why you're questioning yourself in most cases is because it's rooted in self esteem. Anytime you're in a state of confusion with men, do not waste any time. Get yourself out of the situation. Confusion is not normal. It's not. It's not normal. Mixed messages. He'll say things and his actions don't align. Please leave. I feel as though confusion is what it's really the demise for a lot of women, and even with their health. Like, if a man is telling you he loves you, he kisses you on the forehead every day, and then he's not coming home until 3 a.m. the next day, all that's going to do is cause confusion. Because you're like, he's telling me he loves me, he's kissing me on the forehead, he might even do nice things for you. But you're over here like, okay, he doesn't want to plan a date, he's coming in late, he's guarding his phone, he's smiling at his phone. It ain't matching up. And then when you try to approach him about it and confront him, he will give you all these excuses. He'll start calling you crazy. He'll start trying to throw it back on you as if something is wrong with you. And then you're like, what? And then you start questioning your own reality as if something is wrong, as if maybe you're overreacting. And then you end up getting in these situations where now you don't know what to think. You don't know what to think. And only low self-esteem women that have low self-worth, only they're going to stick around in situations like that to try to figure something out. One thing I'm never going to do with a man is to try to figure him out, put the puzzle pieces together. No. Once you're in a state of confusion, it's nothing left for you to figure out. Confusion is just a man hiding something. It's really that simple. It's him hiding something. He's trying to withhold something that he does not want you to know. That's the reason why you're confused. It's important that women that have a low self-esteem understand how important it is to shift the narrative. Instead of seeking validation, you need to seek self-knowledge. You need to gain a sense of self and figure out who you are, what you like, what you don't like. And I think the biggest thing when it comes to having a low self-esteem and recovering and building yourself up to have high self-esteem is making a promise to yourself and saying, I refuse to ever let another man make me feel this way again. Because you have control over that. You have control over repeating this over again and allowing another man to make you feel horrible about yourself, making you feel inadequate, making you feel unappreciated. I tell myself that. I refuse to make another man make me feel this way. Knowing who you are and knowing what you bring to the table. Okay? Know your worth. Add tax. Add interest. Know your worth. And don't let anyone discount you. Don't let anyone try to have you for sale. Don't let someone try to put you on the clearance rack. I've also noticed with women that have a very low self-esteem, they don't tend to do anything outside of being with a man to uplift themselves. They don't go to therapy, they don't work out, they don't read books, they don't become a part of groups, especially with other women. They don't really do anything for themselves. You need to be doing things for yourself, finding something that you can take pride in, taking some type of hobby, some type of self-improvement. The most important thing, it's so much power in walking away. I talked about this on my Patreon, okay? The most dangerous woman is a woman that knows how to walk away. At the drop of a dime, no questions asked, no ultimatums, no bargaining, no begging, no nothing. A woman that knows when to walk away and actually does it is a dangerous woman. Okay? Confidence is the biggest repellent for a man. Okay? For men that are trying to prey on women with self-esteem. Because it signifies you're not going to settle. You're not going to just stick around in a situation just because you're with someone. When I was younger, I was in a relationship where my needs weren't getting met. And I literally used to tell myself, well, at least I'm with someone. I literally would convince myself that me dealing with what I was dealing with, me being unfulfilled in the relationship, that didn't, it was almost one of those things where it's just like, it's fine. I'll take me being unfulfilled just because I have a boyfriend. Like, it's fine. At least I'm with someone. At least I'm not alone. And a lot of women that continue to have low self-esteem, they're always thinking that. I'm not getting what I want, but at least I got someone. At least I don't have to say that I'm single. And it's also about losing your fear around being single. Single doesn't automatically mean that you're miserable. Single doesn't automatically mean that you're lonely. Doesn't mean that you're unhappy. Only you think that. Only you think that. But that doesn't have to be your reality. You could be single and unhappy. You could be single and happy. You could be married and unhappy. You could be married and happy. It's a choice at the end of the day. The biggest lesson is that a man that wants you to have a low self-esteem, a man that wants you to be insecure, a man that doesn't want you to be confident, a man that doesn't want you to hype yourself up, acknowledge your beauty, things like that, they're telling on themselves. Stay far away from those type of men, please. Stay far, far, far away from those types of men. Those types of men are terrible. Okay, they're not good people at all, whatsoever. They're terrible people.
Problems that we have is that we think that these men think that we are stupid. They know we're not stupid. They know you're not stupid. That man knows that you are not dumb. What he does know and what he is acting upon and why he keeps doing what he's doing and treating you the way that he's treating you is because he knows your self-esteem is low. Want to talk about it? Men being very discerning creatures gives them an advantage over a lot of women who lack the self-esteem and lack their ability to discern what is what. It's not that we don't have discernment. It is the fact that we don't operate in it in the same way that men do.
This is the reason why it is so important for women to tap into spirit. There's a reason why men hate astrology. Oh, women that are into astrology, women that are into all of those crystals, women that are into all that stuff. Oh, those women are terrible. Red flag. Red flag. They know that there is a lot of answers. There's a lot of questions that can be answered through astrology, through occult teachings, esoteric teachings. That's the reason why they burned the witches. That's the reason why. Because there's things that they're able to pick up on before it happens. This is the reason why men get so frustrated when you have a dream about them cheating. They're like, how the fuck, how was she able to have a dream about me cheating? And they know that they're cheating. They know that they're out here doing it. And they know that you are tied to the spirit to be able to pick up on these things and pay attention to them. Men understand discernment. They understand it very, very well. This is why they're going to tell you things like, "Oh, well, you should choose better. It's your discernment. You need to practice discernment." They know about this shit. They know about astrology. They know about all of these mystical things. They just cover it up with the Bible. I think a lot of women underestimate that there are men that are into witchcraft. There are men that are in spiritual realms, learning the teachings, doing love spells on you, doing all types of things. Okay, there are men that have altars and all of that stuff. There are a lot of men, they know exactly what they're doing. Any man that don't want you to do astrology, there was one man that I worked with. He told me that he forced his girlfriend to throw away all of her astrology stuff, throw away all of like her occult stuff and things like that. He was like, no, he's like, stuff like that, it just makes me feel uncomfortable. And I was like, okay, well, why does it make you feel uncomfortable? He's like, I don't know. It's just something strange about it. And it's like, of course it's something strange about it. It's because of the simple fact that you understand that women that practice that type of stuff, they're able to listen to their spirit and pay attention to things without physical proof. This is why the justice system is so fucked up. The justice system is the issue with the justice system is that only the physical, it only takes into account the physical. You can't call the police department and say, I have a feeling that my boyfriend is going to do something. Like, I have a feeling that he's going to harm me. They're going to say, where's your proof? Where are the threats? Where are the messages? And then even then, that's not going to be enough. It won't be until you're 6 feet in the grave that they're like, oh. But you having a feeling will never be enough in the justice system, ever. But your feeling will tell you before it actually happens. And this is what men don't like. This is what men don't like. This is the reason why they're always going to shame any type of spiritual teachings. They don't want women in spiritual teachings because we're already a part of the spiritual realm. You know what's going to happen before it happens. You know when you're sitting across the table from a guy on the first date and he's a fucking creeper. And you already know, ooh, I shouldn't. The reason why they suppress all the spiritual teachings was because they wanted you to be vulnerable to men preying on you. They wanted you to ignore your intuition. That way you're more vulnerable to men taking advantage of you, harming you, using you. When you're in tune with spirit, you can prevent a lot of these things from happening. That's why they don't want you to know about it. That's why that's witchcraft. And why do you think witchcraft is so demonized in Christianity, in religion? Why do you think witchcraft is so demonized when it comes to religion? Because it puts you 10 steps ahead. They don't want you to be 10 steps ahead. They don't want you to pay attention to your intuition. They don't want you to trust your gut and be like, you want to know what? He's probably cheating. He's cheating. I don't even need proof. I know he's cheating. I had a dream about him cheating. I know for a fact that he's cheating. You get all types of signals. You get all types of signs. the issue is that women always want to have physical proof for something when their body is screaming at them that that's actually the situation that's happening. You don't always have to have physical proof. I'm telling you. And the thing about it is that women are so self-centered or so male-centered, they're ignoring the physical proof. They'll know he's baby mama 3 other people. They know he's put his hands on 4 other women. They know his past. They know what he's capable of, and they still won't listen to that. When you lead in spirit, you protect yourself from a lot of demonic energy, a lot of energy vampires, a lot of men who are not good for you. Exactly. However, if someone tells me that in my line of work, I do listen and we will plan for things in case someone were to happen. All the women say they want to talk to me, not the guy officers. Exactly. Men want physical proof of everything. And then they try to call you crazy. They try to call you crazy when you explain something to them and you have no physical proof. Not everything in life manifests physically. I solo traveled internationally with my only protection being a cell phone and spirit. I have never been in any dangerous situation because I trusted my gut every time. Exactly. I we and my best friend, we went to Jamaica, right? We went to Jamaica. And we ended up having to go to Negril instead of Montego Bay. Just because it was cheaper at the time and we were kind of on a budget for our travels. And so I had given my friend the job to kind of like plan the excursions while I had booked the flight and the hotel. And so I was like, just do the excursions. And so she booked the excursions because the excursions that we wanted to go on through the actual like booking site, they were all pretty much in Montego Bay. It really wasn't a whole lot of what we wanted to do in Negril. So she finds this guy on Instagram. We end up doing all the excursions. Y'all, why were we 3 hours away from the resort? Why were we 3 hours away from the resort? And I remember my best friend was freaking out. She was like, we're not in a safe part of Jamaica. Like, I just know it. I could just feel it. Like, I know, like, I'm like a little bit nervous. Like, I'm looking around and I'm like, we're going to be okay. I promise you, we're going to be okay. We are protected. Nothing is going to happen to us. I promise. And then we did the excursions and then he drove us 3 hours back and literally nothing had happened. Nothing had happened. And I know that sounds crazy as hell because we literally left the resort and hopped in the car with a stranger that we did not know. But the thing about it too is that I don't know how it is in other countries. I'm not too sure how it is in other countries. But one thing that I do understand with here in the United States is that the United States is really, really good for fear mongering you into not leaving the country. They're very, very good for that. And I'm not discounting, Jamaica, it definitely is a dangerous place when you're in a bad part, you know what I mean? But we went to the clubs. I ended up going out to the club with a guy. He ended up giving me a cab back to my resort. I was probably like 30 minutes away from the resort. I just had a spirit of protection over me and a spirit of protection like over us. But I do feel as though even if you stay here in the States, you're still going to be in a predicament. You could go to the grocery store and someone could abduct you in the grocery store. You know what I mean? Someone could abduct you and take you and traffic you in your own hometown. You never know. The biggest thing is that you just understand and have enough discernment and understand that as long as you lead with spirit and you trust yourself, you know that you're protected. Nothing is going to happen to you. Nothing's going to happen to you. And the trip ended up being fine. We had no issues. We had like one of the guys from the resort drive us around and he showed us around Jamaica, like where we were and things like that. And then like we got to know a couple of the guys from the resort, and they were telling us about like the mistreatment and things like that, at the resort. But leading with discernment and trusting spirit and understanding that you're protected. Like I'm taking a flight this weekend. And the flight is going to be like 7 hours. And I don't care about the fact that like it's been all those plane crashes or whatever. Oh well. Oh well. If something ends up happening on the plane, oh well. It's not like I can't choose my death. You know what I mean? I don't have a decision in that. I don't know when it's going to happen. I don't know how it's going to happen. I could tiptoe around that as much as I want to. You know what I mean? It's not going to prevent it from happening. So that's how, in my opinion, that's how powerful the spirit is. That's how powerful it is when you step into your spirit and you step into being understanding that there is something greater than you that is protecting you. You just have to trust it. I actually don't travel much domestically because America is way more dangerous than other countries. Listen, I felt safer walking at night in Japan and Mexico than here in Houston. Me and my best friend went to Mexico during the hurricane. It just so happened that the week that we went, the week of 4th of July, that was when we had the hurricane. My best friend literally went outside and walked alone for like 45 minutes going to like find us like a restaurant that was open because they closed everything because I didn't feel like going out. And she's like, "Girl, I'm fine. Like, it'll be okay. Like, it's really no worries." And she made it back safely. Okay. She made it back safely. No one bothered her. No one harassed her. Oh my God, I'm so happy you said that about the planes. I was going to cancel my trip to Paris, but the spirit will cover you. I'm going to Paris. Yes, thank you, sis. Yeah. My best friend, she just took a flight a couple of days ago to Norway. And like I've been saying, people just assume that everything that gets reported means that they only are reporting things when it's happening, and that couldn't be further from the truth. They are not reporting every single plane crash that happens every single day. Don't you drive every day? Are they reporting every single car crash that happens every single day? If they did that, you would never drive. If they reported every single car crash that happened every single day, you would not want to drive. And actually, majority of those plane crashes that have happened since the beginning of the year were not they were not commercial airlines. They weren't commercial airlines. They were like a private airline, like the medical airplanes and things like that. It wasn't even a commercial airline. The way that you get into spirit, you have to dismantle your conditioning. You have to break free from the matrix. That's why I'm starting a spirituality channel, and I'm going to be starting it probably tomorrow. Probably tomorrow, because I'll probably be at 10K probably within a few hours. I don't know what I'm at right now, but that's why I'm starting a spiritual channel. Because the way that you lean into spirit is to pay attention and to break from the matrix and understand how the system that we live in, the society that we live in, it is based on you living in fear. Like, hold on, let me show y'all something. So this is a vibration chart, okay? And this has been studied, okay? If you want to learn more about this, I'll be letting you guys know. I'll be linking you guys to the spiritual channel, and all that jazz. But there's an app. It's Gaia. It's GAIA. I forgot the name of the actual show, but the man talks about this. This is a vibration chart. So if anyone is new here or you're just now catching alive, my career is in X-ray and ultrasound. Okay. That was like my 9 to 5, and like how I made a living was through ultrasound. And so we learned about sound waves. Okay. We learned about sound waves, and waves cause a vibration. Okay. Waves cause a vibration. You vibrate at a certain level. Okay. Anything that is living, anything that contains life has a vibration. It has a frequency. And this has been studied. The news is not going to show you things that are positive. The news is not really going to show you things that are going to make you happy. They want you to operate in fear. And look at how low fear is. Shame is the lowest. Shame, guilt, apathy, grief, fear. Fear is low on here. This is the reason why when it comes to my channel, I'm never ever going to make women feel bad for not knowing this situation, these situations, and knowing this information. I'm never going to do that to women. That is such a low vibrational tactic. And this is the tactic that men are always going to. Shaming you. It's your fault that a man touched you because of how you're dressing. It's your fault that the family's broken apart. They want you to vibrate low. It's the same thing with the news, with the media. They want you to be fearful. You don't have a say-so in how you leave this earth. And when you know more about the afterlife, and when you know more about what actually happens to you once you leave your physical body, you're not going to be afraid of it anyway. I promise you. You're not going to be afraid of it. You can even look it up. People that have near-death experiences, you can look it up. They say that it's one of the most best feelings. Oh, I'm trying to remember the song. I know it's not Rhythm of the Night, but it's like from that era. It's from that era. But I remember I have to find the song. I had to find the song, and I will talk about it in my spiritual channel. But the reason why she wrote the song was because the song was based off of her having a near-death experience. And she was upset because she came back to life. Because when she was near death, it was the best she ever felt. It was the best she ever felt, and she was upset that she had to tap back into the physical world. A lot of people have fear based around something, and it's actually not as scary as it's been painted to you. One time I had a seizure and thought I was done because all of my memories flashed before my eyes. It was crazy. I could only imagine. Perfect example is the panini. They were feeding off that low energy. Yeah. The panini was my awakening. And the biggest thing was that it was my mom, me seeing how my mom responded. Like, it was crazy. Like, my mom did not give a fuck about the panini. She didn't give a fuck about the panini at all. She was like, I don't care about that. She's like, I don't care about that. They're doing what they always do on the news. They're going to hype it up and make it so bad The panini was the best. The panini was the best thing that ever happened to me? Honestly, it was what woke me up. It was what had me hop timelines. Yeah, it was back to life. Yes, yeah, it was back to life. That's why she wrote that song. Yep, it was back to life. That's why she wrote that song. She had a near death experience and she enjoyed it so much and she was upset. She was upset that she came back to life. That's how men trap low self-esteem women. They exploit and benefit from their low confidence. Girl, yes. They work hard to keep us in fear. Confidence all the way repels these low vibrational men. Exactly. Yep. Yep, that's why she wrote the song. When all you got to do is look it up. People that have near death experiences, it puts a whole different perspective on life after that. I had once experienced psychosis, and that changed my life forever. I was in nirvana and let ancient knowledge and wisdom, it set me free. Yeah. A lot of people are super fearful around death because it's just the fear of not knowing. That's really it. It's just the fear of not knowing. You just don't know when it's going to happen or how it's going to happen, which is even more reason why you shouldn't care. You don't have any control over it. So why care? You not catching a plane tomorrow doesn't, you not catching a plane tomorrow isn't going to decrease your risk of anything else happening to you. You're just decreasing your risk of dying in a plane crash. But that doesn't automatically decrease your chances of any of your other daily activities that you partake in. Is that why people like extreme sports? Okay, y'all are gonna judge me. I totally went off. It's the end of the live. I don't even really feel like I've gotten too deep into this conversation. So let me make my let me stop sharing this. Okay, so I was just talking to one of my male friends about this last night because he was telling me that he's been going down a rabbit hole of watching videos of coal miners. And there's a specific type of demographic that does extreme sports. It's usually white men. Like, have y'all noticed that? It's usually white men that do extreme sports. I can't think of another race and demographic in mass that do extreme sports like white men do. And my theory is that they are typically the ones that do these extreme sports is because they've lived a life without trauma. They've lived a life without trauma. They've lived a life without oppression. They've lived a life without any resistance. And so they purposely and willingly put themselves in position where they're uncomfortable, where their life is at risk, where they will be put in a situation of fear because they've never had to live their life like that. They've never been enslaved, they've never been oppressed. So that's my theory behind why they do the extreme sports, because they're the number one people that are doing it. They ain't been through enough. They ain't been through enough in life. So they want to find ways to make their lives more exciting, more exhilarating, to say that they overcame something. So that's how they do it. They overcome doing extreme sports where their life is at risk. Yes, I watch mountain biking videos. Very interesting. Yeah, I've had that theory for the longest time. This is why I take self-help advice from white males or any males with a grain of salt and an eye roll. Girl, listen. I'm telling you, taking advice from white men and having white men in my circle has elevated my life in so many ways. One time I was out in New York City having brunch, and there was a black woman, and she was sitting around a ton of black men. Some were probably, I think some were gay. I think most of them were probably gay. And beautiful lady, beautiful older lady. And she came up to us and she was like, girl, I befriended these white men and I got a 820 credit score or something like that. She said, get you some male white friends, girl. She said, get you some male white friends, girl. She said, they gonna be out here. Your credit gonna be right. You gonna know all about the housing market. You gonna have all the information you need. I definitely keep some white men that got their shit together in my arsenal because they wrote the playbook. They wrote the playbook. So you might as well go to the creator of the playbook so you can know how to play this game of life. White male advice is good because it helps you refrain your mind to behave with audacity and deservedness. Listen. Aside from the policies that Donald Trump has like brought in, aside from that, one thing that you cannot deny with Donald Trump is that the reason why Donald Trump doesn't care about criticism, the reason being why Donald Trump doesn't care about not being liked is because Donald Trump understands that he has people in his corner that will worship the ground he walks on. He has people in his corner that would take a bullet for him. He has a cult following. The same thing with Kim Kardashian. Kim Kardashian doesn't give a fuck about having a schmex tape. Kim Kardashian doesn't give a fuck about BBL allegations. Kim Kardashian doesn't care about criticism because she has a cult following. She has people that worship the ground that she walks on. Why would she care about people that don't like her when she has people who will do anything for her, buy any of her products? That's how you got to live your life. That's how you got to live your life. Like, no, I'm not going to live my life being a shell of myself just so that more people can like me. Usually when you have a lot of people that like you, it's at an average likeness. You know what I mean? You think you have a lot of friends until you need a favor done, right? You need a lot of friends until you need a ride to the airport. You need someone to lend you your money. You're better off being polarizing. You're better off having people that love you and people that hate you because you know that the people that love you, they're going to help you. They're going to pick you up from the airport. They're going to lend you money. They're going to support your ideas. People that just like you, no, they're not going to do it for you. They're not going to do it for you. I'd rather be hated at the expense of people loving me as opposed to having no one hating me just to be well liked. People that like you aren't going to do things for you. They're not. Yes, when you care less, they care more. I love that Trump did so much for land conservation and endangered animals. No one ever talks about that. Listen, there are positives. I've said this before. There are 100% positives of there are definitely some positives of Trump being president. Honestly, it goes back to astrology. This is the timing. We're going to hop timelines. Tradition is going to be broken. Everything is collapsing. The people that are spiritually grounded, we're the people that aren't freaking out. We're the people that don't care. We're the people that are just riding the wave of what's happening. We're not resisting anything that is happening because the timeline shows, astrology shows, history shows, this was bound to happen. Donald Trump has to be the person to set things into motion. People are just scared because it's breaking away from what they're used to. It's breaking away from what they're comfortable with. People don't like it when they're in a state of not being comfortable. Exactly. I don't like Trump, but must admit he gets things done. Exactly. You don't have to like him. I'm not saying that he has to, I'm not saying that he's a favorable person at all. But the shit that he wants to get done, he wants to get done. And the people that are in the opposing parties aren't stopping him. They're not stopping him. Trump being president doesn't really faze me, but I definitely felt an energetic shift after the election. I felt like I was the only one with the lights on. Exactly. Exactly. The people that get it aren't phased. The people that get it don't give a fuck. I don't care. I don't care. This was bound to happen. It was bound to freaking happen. He is here to shake things up, and the people that still are going to choose to remain to be asleep through all of this, they're not going to make it. It's the same thing with the panini. The people who lived in fear and, doing all this stuff, anxiety, they don't want to go outside. Those are the people those are the people that have illnesses, the people that passed away. What these changes, it's pretty much weeding out. It's weeding out the people who aren't vibrating high enough. Point blank, period. These changes weed out the people who don't vibrate high enough. The people who are high vibrational, they're not scared. They're not worried. They're not concerned. Hell, most of the people that are vibrating higher, they've been prepared. They've been prepared because they already know what was happening. They already understand what is going on. So if anything, I would say most of us were prepared, if anything. Girl, I was scrolling on Shein during the election results. Girl, I don't even remember what I was doing. It was nothing related though. It was nothing related to the election. I was like, okay. The person that's going to be elected is going to be the president. Cool. Life will go on. Life will go on. I'm awake. I'm protected, so I'm not worried. I'll be good. I'll be good. And as long as you are around like-minded people, you'll be fine. You'll be fine. I'm not arguing with people regarding these policies and taking sides and doing things like that. The people that really get it, the folks that really get it, they already know there is no such thing as a two-party system anyway. There's no such thing as a two-party system. It's a one-party system divided so that you can take a side. And so you can stay asleep thinking that the other party is going to save you from the issues that the other party purposely created. A two-party system doesn't actually exist. People around me were so sure that Kamala was going to win. I was the only one to predict that Trump would win. Yep. Exactly. Who cares? It's all planned anyway. I was on Bob the Drag Queen's live during the election. Right. Who cares? Like, okay. This is facts, Queen. The change was needed. The great split is happening and was bound to happen. My spirit guides have me on lock. I heard that, girl. And I mean, people that are nervous and like scared, you just got to break free. You just got to break free from the Matrix. Go watch the Matrix. As a matter of fact, anyone that's watching this and you're having a visceral response to what I'm talking about, you have fear wrapped around what the future holds, go watch The Matrix. Go back and watch The Matrix. And I want you to really, really pay attention. Like, I really, really want you to pay attention. All of this is a simulation. None of this is real. All of this was manufactured. Are there any other ways you identify low self-esteem in women? I pretty much mentioned everything as far as signs when it comes to low self-esteem women. But the two biggest things are people pleasing and caring about what other people think. Those are the two most important signs for you to pay attention to. Like, I remember one of my exes, I wouldn't even do anything embarrassing. I wouldn't do anything embarrassing. And I remember he was like, he's like, how do you feel so confident to do that? Like, I wish you didn't do that. Like, I just can't believe that you feel okay doing that. And I'm like, I'm not disrespecting anybody. I'm not being loud. I'm not doing anything. This is just my personality. I think it's just because I'm very blunt. I do. I think it's because I am very, very blunt, and that can really rub people the wrong way. But I don't care. I don't care. I'm going to be blunt, and I'm going to say what it is that I want to say. I don't care. People could unsubscribe. People could unfollow me. I'm not going to suppress what I think just for people to like me. Like, no, I want a community. I want a community of like-minded people. And so you actually like stating your opinions, stating what you think, that will filter out the community of people who aren't for you. And like, yeah, my ex had a problem with that. He really wanted me to be like shameful around me having opinions. And Keanu Reeves is like so unproblematic. He's so unproblematic. He just does his thing. I grew up watching The Matrix as a child, but it hits different now after watching it as an adult. It totally hits different watching it as an adult. You have a completely different lens on life when you watch that movie as an adult. Things really make sense to you because you have more life experience and you can really understand, oh shit. Oh shit. Okay. Now I get it. Girl, your energy is a whole vibe. Aw, thank you. Thank you. The Matrix is a low-key documentary. Hell yeah, it is. And one of the like more obvious things that I always think about is Aaliyah, because they were gonna actually have Aaliyah in the Matrix. When I was a child, I was so energetically like connected and like damn near obsessed with Aaliyah. Like Aaliyah had like a high level of mysticism to her. Aaliyah had a very, very high level of divine femininity. She radiated like such a high level vibrationally. And I just loved when she played in Queen of the Dam. And I was so sad when she passed away because yeah, like she was supposed to be in the second Matrix. A black woman did write The Matrix. A black woman did write The Matrix. You're 100% right. Yep, a Leo is a Capricorn. They pretty much took away, I mean, that's a whole nother conspiracy theory. But her and Left Eye, like it's like I like literally had like a visceral response to their death. And I was really young when they died at that. I was super, super young when they died at that. But Left Eye was another one, even revolving around her death. Super eerie, super mystical, just a very, 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 very strange circumstance. Very coincidental. Yeah, I cried when Aaliyah died too. I was in church at the time, so they thought I was in the spirit. The Matrix is about the trans experience. Pretty cool. I find it funny that the incels latched onto Matrix Red Pill when that's what the director was showing. Yes. I can talk 365 days about conspiracy theories too. Girl, don't even get me started. I'm hollering. They thought you caught the Holy Ghost. Whole time you was mourning. The music video for "We Need a Resolution." I'll never forgive Hype Williams for what he did. So messed up. And I remember when they did went like not too long after her passing, and they did a documentary. And I remember when they had showed a picture of Aaliyah sleeping, and they were saying that she was just sleeping so peacefully before she got on the plane. Cause like that's the thing. When I was young, that's what's crazy. Me and my mom, we peeped this shit. Like literally, my mother has never liked Diddy. Like from the beginning of time, my mother has not liked Diddy. She's like, there's something off about him. I don't like him. My mother's never ever liked him. I remember when I watched the documentary, they said that she was sleeping. And then I remember they said that she really didn't want to get on the plane. And I'm like, well, how do you go from getting on the plane, not wanting to get on the plane, to sleeping peacefully on the plane? I just thought it was like super freaking eerie. And I was like, there's no way that she was sleeping on the plane with her own will, by her own choice. There's just no way. Still got her albums, and I love her even. It jumped. Still got all her albums, and I love her even more as love interest in Romeo Must Die, because in love Asian men's too. I swear, Asian men are actually very attractive. They said she was terrified of flying. Oh, 100% she was forced. I think Aaliyah means most high one. Yep, it means the exalted one. I never liked Diddy, especially after making the band. As soon as he made making the band members walk they had to walk from where? Manhattan to Brooklyn, Brooklyn to Manhattan. All I know is that they had to cross from one borough to the other to get this goddamn man a slice of cheesecake. Like, come on. And it was cold as hell outside. Who does that? Exactly. She was offered a sleeping pill and she took it because she was anxious. Yeah, they gave her something to relax before getting on the plane. I told people in middle school I thought yup. I think he did too. I knew he couldn't be trusted since the lip gloss he'd be wearing and that toothpick that was sussy. And he always had on glasses. I talked about it yesterday on the Leangelo and Nikki Baby episode. Diddy was always wearing glasses. Always, 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 always. And I was just like, what the? And it was just like so obsessed, like being in the limelight. It's like, you're not even on the record. Like, you're not even featured on the song. Like, why do you want to be in every music video? Why do you want to be screaming on every song? The cheesecake was for Beyonce. It was recently revealed they were recording in Diddy's studio upstairs for the Temptations movie. What? Wait a minute. What? And the thing about it is that actually sounds okay, Manhattan to Brooklyn. The thing about it is that actually sounds like it checks out. Thank you. My thing is this. I'm not waiting no goddamn 3 hours for a slice of cheesecake. Tell them fools to take the public transit or take a taxi and get me a slice of cheesecake. Like, I'm gonna have them walk from one borough to the next to get me cheesecake. So why? They could spit on it on the way. It could be freezing cold on the way. Girl, that's what Suge Knight said. Diddy on all the records, non-dancing ass. Yeah, I'm like, why are you on every song and there's not one vocal, there's not one lyric that you lay down on the song. You're just screaming during the intros. Period. It was probably a mess too. Yeah, why would I want to have some goddamn cheesecake that's been in transit for 3 hours? You can keep it. You can keep it. I don't want no damn cheesecake that was walked to me. Abusive narc. I would have caught a taxi after one completely exploiting them. It completely exploiting their not need for fame, but them wanting to have a career. You know what I mean? Them wanting to, you know, become a band, become a musician, make money doing the thing that they enjoy doing. Total exploitation. He got one in last night with Keisha Cole and Tell Me with Christina Aguilera. Oh, yeah, you're right. He did. Do that shit. Do that shit. Do it. Do that shit. Do that shit. Do it. I remember that Tell Me song because I actually liked that song. It's insane. Did he never had the connections people thought or ever made stars sick? Listen, I know the whole story of P. Diddy. Child, it's a mess. It's a mess. Only because that's my jam. Yeah, that used to be my jam. I used to listen to that song all the time in middle school because that's when it came out for me. I was in middle school when it came out. The beat was hard, okay? The beat was hard. And last night too. Oh, Keisha with the vocals. Come on. Come on. He definitely I'm gonna give it to Diddy. He definitely has some hits. He definitely has some hits. Cause I remember when DJ Khaled came out and I was like, DJ Khaled, you are giving P. Diddy vibes. You are giving P. Diddy vibes. Why are you screaming on all of these songs? Like you're just the DJ. Why do I need to hear you screaming on every goddamn song? It's cool. Okay? Your name is in the song of who's on it. I don't need to hear you. Girl, you got to do a Diddy segment. I love Hollywood. Like I love Hollywood so much. And the reason why I love Hollywood is because Hollywood is really ritualistic. Hollywood is a part of the occult. They practice witchcraft, they practice sacrificing. It's a very spiritually bound like entity. And so that's like one of the things that has really always drawn me to it's always drawn me to Hollywood and famous people and things like that because it's a very esoteric environment. That's why they call it Hollyweird. Now, I'm not saying that I justify or promote any of those things because they do a lot of nefarious things for sure. But all of those industries that are based around fame, it's all based in some type of spirituality. I live in LA. Yeah, it's a whole crazy vibe. Oh, I'll be in LA. I'll be in LA this weekend. I will be in LA this weekend and all of next week. I want to be invited to the non-sacrificial rituals. Exactly. I'll go to something that is, not doing anything crazy. But they allegedly want your blood. You have to give them your phone and they want to drop a blood from you. It's all crazy. It's all types of crazy stories that I've heard. I love me some Christina Aguilera. She looks good too. These surgeons doing these facelifts, I have no fear of aging. As long as my money is right, I have no fear of aging, okay? I will be 60 years old looking 40 with the work these surgeons are doing because she looks damn good. I never liked Diddy either and was like, sir, why do you have multiple aliases? I think he was bipolar disorder with the way he moves. Yeah, he would always change his name based off of how people wanted to perceive him. Like Puff Daddy, P. Diddy, and then Love. She got a body look. She was taking that Ozempic, child, because she got tiny fast. She was taking that Ozempic. Is the industry demonic? Is it true or just conspiracy? The industry is 100% demonic. It definitely, it's 100% demonic. And the thing about it is this: look into Mel Gibson, look into Jim Carrey, look into Maya. They don't just say it outright. They don't say it outright, but they do pretty much say that, like, I wasn't going to sell my soul in order to make more money. I wasn't going to, do these sacrificial practices in order for me to have this level of fame. Like Kanye West literally admitted that his mother was a sacrifice. Let me say alleged because I ain't trying to get sued, but Kanye West literally has admitted that his mother dying was a part of like a form of a sacrifice. You would be amazing and could bring a lot to LA because you know who you are. Get your bag, girl. Thank you. Everyone's mother is gone. What industry is there that everyone suddenly loses their mother? Think of Jennifer Hudson. Like, I remember when that had happened, when like all of those family members in her family had got unalived. And I was like, dude, there's no freaking way. There is no freaking way that this is just happening like by chance. Like, there's no way that this is freaking happening. And she has her own TV show still to this day. Like, even Michael Jordan, like with his father. Megan Thee Stallion, love her, but she definitely took the oath. I wouldn't be surprised. Surprised. That was the craziest story. Her whole freaking family. Yeah. Super wild. Nikki's father. Yeah. When it came to Hollywood, I've never heard of so many people that lost their parents, passed away from suicide, passed away from pneumonia, fell. It's like it was always a repetition of different causes of death all the time. They unalived themselves. They fell. They had pneumonia. Those are like always the three main causes of death in Hollywood. Always. All the girlies who seemed like they were up and coming actresses and then just disappeared and stopped acting. Oh, that's the thing. When you don't take the oath and when you don't agree to do certain things, because it's like they'll unalive your family, they'll R-word you, they'll traffic you. There's like multiple things that they allegedly do to pretty much initiate you into the next level, the next tier of fame. And so when you decide that you don't want to do it, they'll just blackmail you. They'll blackball you. So that way you can never work in Hollywood again. Pretty much every single person that just vanished, just wiped off the face of the earth in Hollywood, it wasn't no coincidence. It wasn't by accident. It was 100% intentional. Bill Cosby's son was unalived in the 90s. You know how crazy he was. Oh, 100%. I love how you brought that up with the fraternity initiations too. Yeah, all of that shit is a cult. All of that shit is demonic. Like, no, like I refuse. People will still ask me to this day, I can't believe that you weren't like, you're not in a sorority or like you don't like men that are in fraternities. No, like No, I'm not gonna be in something where I have to do things to get initiated. Like that's never sat right with me. I've just never felt comfortable with that. It's always been something dark. Always been something dark about that. And it's all energy harvesting. That's really what it is. Fraternities are energy harvesting. I used to watch Illuminati videos back in the early days of YouTube's. All those videos are gone now. Yup. They scrubbed a lot of those videos. Listen to the man who allegedly unalived her family. He says he was set up. I believe it. They would love you in the industry, girl, but they can't break you, so they wouldn't be able to use you. Yeah, I would be great. I would be a very great front facing person for the industry, like for real. Like I've been asked to be a part of a documentary and I'm still going back and forth about if I want to even do it or not. Um because I don't know, there's a level of exposure that I want and then there's a level of exposure that I don't want. It's not a bad documentary either. It's not a bad documentary either. It's like I guess it's like a man who like lives in Canada, I guess, and he's doing a documentary talking about like the cultural shifts and like relationships and things like that. And I guess he wanted insight on like 4B. I'm not for sure if I want to do it or not. What did you put on your face to get that glass like appearance? Well, first of all, my skin is very it's already kind of naturally like oily, okay? So um you're probably picking up a little bit on that. But I use this COS RX snail mucin secretions. It sounds disgusting, but it has no smell. It's clear. It's like 20 bucks on Amazon. You can order it. It's a Korean skincare brand. It makes your skin like very plump and very juicy. So I think that's the main product that gives that like glass like appearance. But I also use tretinoin at night. I use niacinamide during the day and SPF during the day. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Queen, can you please talk about women giving backhanded compliments to really attractive women, but hyping up women who they think are beneath them? I already have a video about that, actually. I'm almost positive that I touched about that on my What Stripping Taught Me About Women video. I talk about all of that on that video. And I'm trying to think if there's any other video that I have where I might like allude or talk about that. But I know for a fact I talk about that on What Stripping Taught Me About Women. Oh, and I have another video. I have another video about friendships as well, where I know for a fact I talk about it on there. I just remember the thumbnail. It's the thumbnail that has the friends with all the X's through them. Pretty much saying like, is you being pretty keeping you friendless, I think is the title. You have a rich history to share because you are a dancer and you are educated, plus you know the game. You can help so many on both sides of the table. Thank you. I'm definitely faceted. I'm definitely multifaceted. I feel as though that's like, as a woman, that's the biggest threat you could be. The biggest threat you could be is to be a woman who is multifaceted. When you are a woman you have multiple personalities, you have multiple identities, you've put yourself in different predicaments to gain experiences from different cultures, different people, different jobs, and things like that. You're a dangerous woman. You're a dangerous woman because life isn't just black and white. You start to look at life in multiple shades of gray. You understand the nuances with people, with life. You're able to see things on a macro and a micro level. And so that's always like one thing that I've always prided myself on, is like my ability to be adaptable and to put myself in a predicament where no one could box me in. Like no one would be able to call me a dumb stripper. No one ever has called me that. No one has ever called me that in my life because I'm not a dumb stripper. I'm college educated. You know what I mean? I'm not the stereotypical, oh, I just strip just to make money and blow my money. And I had a dusty boyfriend who I would let borrow my car and he would crash my car. And I would do blow to get through work and things like that. Like, no. I was dancing and getting off at 3 a.m. and had to be at class at 8 a.m. for my biology class for college. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I'm never gonna be someone that someone could just stamp a title on me. Is it me or the world so male centered, which I get sick and tired of? Girl, who you telling? Who you telling? Oh, I forgot my Midhaven sign. I don't remember it. I don't remember it. I find a lot of strippers to be very smart. Strippers are smart as hell. You have to understand human nature. Still no volume. I cut it back on, so you should be able to hear me. But okay, when you're a dancer, you have to understand human nature. You have to understand manipulation. You have to understand sales. You have to understand how to not be preyed upon. You have to understand money management. Like there are so like I'm sorry, but like dancing, stripping was the best thing that I could have ever did for myself at 19 years old. I don't regret it for 1 second. If I didn't strip, life would have been so much harder for me because before I stripped, I was very naive. Before I stripped, I was just frolicking through life. I didn't really have a sense of a whole lot of like danger and things like that. I had enough knowledge to get me through, you know what I'm saying? So I caught on really quickly. But I feel as though had I not danced, I would have had to have gone through a lot more turmoil in my life. And I wouldn't have had the experience that dancing taught me to help me navigate through certain situations that would have naturally been just a lot more difficult. Some just play up aloof, not dumb. Exactly. Have to have awesome social skills. Yes, even when you're tired, even when you're not making money, even when you're constantly being rejected, even when you're seeing other women make money and like there's not a single guy that night that you can like get him to really give you, no men want to spend money on you that night. You know what I mean? Like that's how you learn about men in the strip club. Yes. Yeah, I mean it definitely helped. It definitely helped. It should be acceptable on resumes, honestly. It should be acceptable. It should be a form of sales. I feel like stripping it's a sales job. It is, it's a sales job. You're selling a fantasy, you're selling inexperience, you're selling emotional intimacy. Shit, there are women that are selling physical intimacy. You're a saleswoman when you're a stripper. Point blank period. All right, y'all. I'm about to head on off of here. Okay. I had a wonderful time with you ladies. This was a very, very good discussion. And don't forget, I don't know where the likes are at. So please go on ahead and before you head out of here, please hit the thumbs up. Give me some likes. I would appreciate it. The algorithm likes the likes. So help your girl out with the likes, please. And if you end up catching this after the live, please drop a comment. Let me know what you thought about everything tonight. And yeah, per usual, I will see you guys next time. It'll probably be tomorrow in most cases. But I love you, my lovely sovereign sisters. And I hope you all have a good night. Bye.